Hello, everybody. We are back for another Sunday night evening with Cash and Trash to go over the lines of the last UFC Fight Night 88. Waiting on my co host to be getting here pretty soon. And we will go on this beautiful, fun night that I had to rewatch a lot of the fights because I was doing my kid's birthday, and then I also went to a party that was like for the St. Patty's Day Eve. So I wonder how many drunks we're gonna have here, or not gonna tune in because they're getting really drunk. How are we doing, sir?
What's up, bro? Did you say you had a birthday or something?
Yeah, it was my son's birthday party, so I had to do that. So I was entertaining guests while I was trying to watch fights at the same time. And then,
If I don't know if you caught it, but my wife's over here talking shit because we're planning a birthday party and she wanted to do it on a Saturday, and I was like, whoa, 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 slow your roll. Let's do it on a Sunday.
I mean, I totally agree with your ideology. I mean, if you want to play with the devil, you can play with the devil. That's fine by me. I just make sure it works, and as long as it doesn't hurt like a main card, then it's not that bad.
Yeah,
If it's a
yeah,
main card, now you're just going boundaries. This ain't this 18-year-old birthday. We're talking
yeah.
about
No,
six.
we did a little birthday party on Wednesday, but we are planning to do something a lot bigger
Yeah.
in the next couple of weeks. And I said, yeah, let's do it on a Sunday. I work the morning Saturday, and more than likely gonna have a card that night. So let's do Sunday.
Wait, your
Shoot.
kid gets more than one birthday party?
No, I mean we just took him out to get some pizza, and we had a little cake. It wasn't anything crazy.
Oh,
We uh,
okay.
we just invited my parents, and only my mom showed up, and then my wife's parents, and that's it. So we'll do an actual
Bash.
party thing.
Sounds like a bash, man. All right, well, let's talk about the actual shit that we're here for rather than our amazing lives with our beautiful kids. And everybody else's kids are just ugly. We'll go down from the bottom. I mean, it's all right that their kids are uglier than ours. So you wanted to go from the bottom to the top to see if we get all of our other guys that'll hop in towards the after about an hour. Usually, I want to get this damn thing done before midnight. And them guys all love to hop in right at like fucking quarter to midnight. I mean, want to yak for days. So Chad was our first fight against Geropoulos, I think is how you say his first name. That was opening odds. Chad was a dog the entire time. He was a plus 185 to start, closed at plus 153. I mean, I did hear a lot of people that were talking about him to win in this. I don't really know why I stayed away from it, to be honest. I mean, it kind of went exactly with anybody that was talking up Chad. They were right. I mean, he kind of dominated. Uh, he hit him 85 to 21 in strikes. I mean, so it was a pretty decent freaking breakdown where obviously the takedowns played the role. He was taken down 4 times, but he was, landed way more strikes the entire time. So the grappling didn't do enough compared to what maybe some people were thinking. Did you cash in anything? I had Chad had some parlays that got screwed by something we'll talk about later. But
So I also had Chad on a parlay on something that I'm assuming we'll be agreeing on. If it's the Chuck Wu fight, but if not, then never mind. All I did for this one was the over 1.5. I thought Chad was going to be the side mostly because for one, I did see a couple of the sharps in our chat talking about Chad being the side, but also like it was the Dana White Contender Series debut. On top of that, I feel like those Longo boys usually have a shitty debut.
Hmm.
Um, like I don't know, I don't have any actual proof for that, but
The
I mean,
over 1.5 started at -150 and closed at -240.
yeah, yeah. So I'd put just two two units on there to win my 1 unit back, and or just to win a unit and then move on to the next one. So that
Yeah,
was all I had for this one, and I expected Chad to win there. Chad, he did good.
no, should capitalize on that money line. There's the dog you're wasting.
I mean, dude, there
Andrew, you
was
got anything?
7 dogs that won on this damn fight
Yeah,
card.
yeah, no doubt about it.
So I
Andrew,
didn't
you
bet
got
this
anything?
card, but
Okay.
I did like, dude. My app was weird. I swear to God, I didn't check Friday night because I just gave up after Thursday. I checked
Hmm.
every single day, and lines would not post on my fucking app, except the main fight, the Tai Tuivasa fight. And then I checked Saturday morning, and they were there, and I'm like, nope, fuck you guys. I'm not betting. I'm not gonna make irrational decisions last second. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
But I did like the over in this fight. I will say the first two fights of this card were my favorite two fights of the entire fucking card. Usman knows what I'm getting at because I fucking love me some leg kick TKOs, and he was chopping Gregorio down, and it was fucking beautiful. I
I
love
remember
when
seeing
people.
it too.
Oh,
That
I
leg,
love
you
when
could
people
see
can
it.
incorporate good leg kicks with striking, and then if you saw that like second and third round, dude, he was
On the
dancing
second
on him.
round,
It
it
was
looked so
beautiful.
bad. It
Oh,
looked
it was
so
beautiful.
bad.
He was fucking dancing on
Yeah,
it, bro. I couldn't
he
believe it. I
had
loved it.
to. It looked like there was a baseball in his freaking calf, man. I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Wow, I don't know if this guy's going to make it much longer." And yeah, so to get the, it was amazing on some of those. Speaking of leg kicks, next fight, Thiago Moses, and he took out Mitch with leg kicks as well. His looked fucking even worse. I remember seeing it in the second round, and it looked just huge hematoma on the side. So it did not surprise me that 15 seconds into the second round, he didn't make it anymore. That
Into the
opened up. Let's see, -305 was the close for Thiago. He opened at a -335. He did have a jumper, but he did hop on him to make him a -550. And then Mitch was absolutely just dominated. Plus 275. Did go down to 255 at game time. So some people did take a none shot at it, but I don't know why. It's kind of terrifying. I almost think
yeah,
this should have been higher.
yeah. That finish came into the third round, and I was pretty annoyed because I don't know what the hell I was doing.
How'd you have the over?
No, no. I just I was going to play fight goes the distance. No, let's just make it very easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the hell distracted me so much to where I didn't put any bets in. And going into that third round, I was thinking like, well, fuck, man, this Mitch guy is really taking some fucking damage. I think it's a good thing that I didn't get to bet it. And then that finish
Mm-hmm.
came directly after that. So. Hey,
Ah, mm,
missed some money, but I also didn't have to sweat it, so it's all right.
yeah. All right, off to our next fight with Corey McKenna against Amaron. I can't.
Jacqueline Amarine,
Jacqueline Amarine. That's how you say it.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I guess I. Oh, I kind of guess we could see it with the eye. So, Amarine, she started as a favorite, -130, and closed as a dog at +33. Uh, Other side. So this was a flip loss. Oh yeah, we almost gotta come up with a name for these when they flip and they still win as a dog.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. I've been trying to collect a bunch of data on this shit, and I
Yeah.
even dropped it in the group. Whenever I dropped the split strategy, uh, since I've collected this data. It's only 4 for 4, but when there was just one dog on the card by itself that flips to a favorite,
Uh,
they've always won. And like I said, it's only been 4 instances that happens. But
yeah.
this was the first time that fucking I told everybody too. I was like, let's bet all of our fucking money on Corey McKenna, and no man, and I ended up not betting Corey McKenna. What did I take here? Oh shit, the bets would go away. Yeah, I ended up taking Jacqueline Amarine for plus 130. Just because I really thought she was a side. I know there was a lot of people that were on what's it called, Corey McKenna, because of the wrestling.
Yeah.
And even when it came to Tuesday, I was thinking like, man, those tiny arms are really hard to submit. There's a reason why she hasn't been finished.
Yeah, the
Um,
alligator arm stuff was definitely talked about quite a lot.
but I don't know what made me go ahead and just hit the side because
Well, and she did
yeah,
it in the first round. I
yeah,
mean,
pretty quick.
I'm sure you look at those numbers; those are probably pretty fucking bad too. I mean, if you just went with, I mean, anything under in a women's fight, under 2.5 closed at plus 175, and this did jump. It started at plus 155 and closed at plus 175. So again, that means people still bet on the over 2.5 just because it was a female fight and they lost a bunch of money. Would be my guess of what happened on this because it drops right before the fight too.
So I know there were some people that were big on Amarine by sub. Dude, I didn't expect it to just happen that quickly, you know? Like dude, she pulled guard within like what, 30 seconds, 45
I
seconds
mean,
of
it
the
was
round.
only freaking 1 minute 38 seconds to the
That's what I'm
entire
saying.
fight.
Like she
Yeah,
pulled guard and then within like a fucking minute she was toast. And I'm like, "Oh
yeah.
my god, bro."
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know it was mostly the pull guard thing, but I also don't know what McKenna was thinking. Like, yeah, while we're all dry and everything, let me just follow her to the ground, or let me attempt to take down,
So
because
the submission.
that guard didn't come out of nowhere. Corey attempted that takedown, and it was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you do that?
That submission win started at plus 265, dropped down to a plus 185, and closed at 275. So there were some mid-week betters on it, and then it fell apart by the fight night. So if you actually took it at right before the fight, you would have had it.
One thing I
The
wanted to
under was a pretty good one too. The under 2.5. Go ahead.
One thing I wanted to ask, Rhino, since you're looking at the lines, was what was
Mm-hmm.
the line for
First round.
Moises by KO? Because as soon as the fucking KO happened, I said, well, now that everybody who bet submission is really kicking their own ass.
No, which fight?
The Moises, the last one.
Oh, I'm lose this one. That it was also the third round. I guess I don't have to look at that, just the submission. I did pull up on another one. The Mike Davis, if you'd have picked submission on that, that actually opened as a plus 2,000 and then closed at plus 550.
Ooh.
And whoever jumped on that's having a pretty good damn day. All right, inside the distance. Where's the fucking submission? Sometimes they put these damn things right. Plus 800.
Plus 800 KO.
Oh no, it was a KO. Shit, you're right. I gotta find that one.
There's no way it was that high.
I was looking at a different fight. I was looking at the Chad fight. I thought I clicked the right one. There's submission plus 110. Opened
No, but
at plus
No, the
135.
knockout.
what about
It
the
was a
KO
knockout.
though?
KO was plus 450.
Plus 450. Hey, that's pretty
Opened at
good.
plus 500. Actually went up and then dropped 100 right at fight time.
Yeah, because you would expect everybody would just be on Moises submission there.
Yeah. All right, on to the next. We're up to Joshua versus Danny. Danny Silva was one of the 3 people I think this week on this card, but he did win as a dog.
What fight?
I Danny Silva and Josh Kul-
Kulaba.
Kulibo, I think his name.
Oh, dude, that fight was fun.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely a hell of a fight. I mean it always have the courage for always not liking guys in this weight to win. You know, it's part of the game. But it was a hell of a fight, man. They both went back and forth. And when you look at the line movement, he opened, Joshua was at minus 240 to start. It did drop down to just a light favorite of 150 within a day, but he closed at 220. So there was a lot of Joshua fans towards the end there, probably because of the weight loss, I would think. This did go to a split decision. So what was the fun part on that? That's your favorite bet, ain't it?
I mean, that's where I take down some of these numbers to look for the over. That's what I bet. I ended up just betting a unit on the over to win half a unit, and then a
Oh, okay.
unit on Cooley by decision, and almost got that one, man. Goes to split was plus 325.
Silva by decision was plus 325 for Silva.
I give Silva a lot of credit, man. He came in, popped him right away a couple times, and then he, tried getting him out of there. Kulabau stayed strong, and then toward like the last 3 minutes of that round, Kulabau was actually finding himself. I don't think he necessarily won the round just because of the damage he took, but you could tell he was kind of taking the momentum of the fight. So then I thought, oh, Kulabau's going to take over this fucking fight. Silva stood in there, did enough, won some rounds. Good job, man. He fought hard.
Yeah, I was. My dad had showed up just to watch that first round, and he was like, "Damn, this Cooley kid's gonna get his ass whooped." And I was like, "No, no, no, pump the brakes. Give me a second. Cooley's gonna come back and he's gonna win me this bet." And I felt good about it, man. That was a good ass fucking fight.
Yeah, you get a lot of good ones down there in the prelims. No one ever they get so disrespected. O'Day, Osborne
Next
got
fight.
his loss to yeah, it was done. Phil Ho, that was very talked up. Everybody was pretty much on his side by the end. Didn't seem like I had too many O'Day people. I think they thought it was going to go a little longer. Uh, I think some people didn't think it was going to get finished in the first round. He got smoked, dude. O'Day
Bro,
got
I
completely
said this in the
manhandled.
space on Tuesday. I said this. I'm like, this is the same shit against Almabayev. I'm like, you know what? He's not going to win the fight because I don't like his grappling defense. I was like, but he's tough. I was like, and I feel like he's going to be able to cash me this over. And he got finished quickly. And I said, that scares me. I don't want to touch this fight at all. And it was the same exact shit. It was the same shit. It's like
He
watching
didn't
the
even
same
land a
movie
strike.
twice, bro.
He didn't even land a strike.
Ugh. So
O'Day
frustrating,
landed
man.
0 strikes and was submitted in the rear naked choke in the first round.
Ugh.
Line wise, uh, they closed at Osborne at a plus 155, Urfeel at minus 180. He opened as a favorite at minus 155. There was a drop at the end. Day before the fight, he was at minus 145. So everybody did kind of punch in to get the line moving at the end there. Almost feels like we kind of gave up on this one, though. Under 2.5 was really high, ended at a minus 205. If you took the submission in, or if you just took him inside the distance, was minus 110. But if you did get that submission, It was the other way. Wins by KO. Wins by decision. I swear to God, they're like not in the same fucking order. So you gotta like read every single one of them. He was only plus 135.
Did either
So
one of you guys cash anything on this fight?
I did get him on uh just on his money line.
I just ended up taking the under. I thought if what's his name O'Day could keep it up, he'd probably hurt him because of how bad Fialo looked against Perez last time out. But that wasn't the case. Luckily, we cashed on the under.
Back to female fighting. Nunez versus Chandler. Chandler was the dog on this one to come out and do some damage. She got the finish too, didn't she? No,
No,
decision.
no, that was
No, it went all the
that
way to decision. Okay.
that was a great decision, mostly because Josiane Nunez just heard the sound at the beginning of the announcement, and
Yeah.
we had both of these girls celebrating, thinking that they won, and then Josiane Nunez's face when they fucking tell her like, "Nah, Chandler won." It was so heartbreaking to see. Poor
And that
girl.
one was clear as day, man. Like, come on, there's no excuse for that.
That was hilarious. No, all she heard was. It could have been Chandler. It could have been the J of Josiane, but she just heard one letter and just started celebrating. I think she hit a knee. That was pretty hilarious.
So let me ask you guys: do you guys think she won the fight? Because
That
I kind of feel
I
like
thought
Nunez won
Chandler
that
won.
fight. I was a little bit surprised.
I thought Chandler won. I mean, I'd
Um,
have to watch it again because I was kind of like half-ass watching that one.
yeah, I'm not even gonna front. I really kind of wasn't even paying attention. I saw Chandler run away at one point, and I laughed, and that's like the most that I paid attention to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because
she
that's what
just
everybody's
she
talking about. Her runaway run.
Yeah,
and she
again.
wasn't able to get top position. She just didn't really damage her at all. Like on the feet, it was kind of one sided. She kind of does that shit that like tall people do, that tall man's defense, where she kind of just like leans back, except she still gets hit when she does that. So I don't know, man. I just felt like Nunez kind of uh, caused more damage in multiple rounds, and I feel like she won the fight.
I did see like Nunes was getting very close with those overhand rights, and some of them were
Jeez.
like rocking her head back. But I don't know. Like there was at one point where
I mean,
Bisping was yelling that she's bleeding all over her face, and it was like she has two sprinkles of blood on her. Chill the fuck out. I don't. I don't.
yeah, I mean, the
I
breakdown of the stats of it. The first round, Chandler landed 20-13. She got one takedown with 2 minutes and 27 seconds of control. Uh, Strike wise, she landed 14 of those to the head. Landed 13 from distance as well. So that was a pretty easy round for her. The second round, pretty
Did
much the
either of
same
you guys
thing.
bet the over on this one? Because I
I
did kind of feel I was like, there's a slight chance Chandler can get knocked out.
I
I
think
just
I
I just checked right now. Yeah, I did hit the over 1 unit for 6.9 or whatever.
Good shit.
It wasn't a big return, but slowly stacked it up. We ended up the night up 6 units. So good night, good night. Little stacking here and there.
Rhino, did you take that over?
I'm looking. I don't think so. I think I stayed away from it. Chick fights scare me. They terrify me all the time.
I
Yeah.
did put Chelsea on a 5 leg parlay that
I
would
remember
have
hearing a
hit
lot of
if
people
not
liking it
for
though.
some fucking asshole Kenny's and Chuku, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there in no time.
Minus 750. That shit's hilarious.
Okay,
Well,
look,
yeah, we'll
fine.
get there. We'll get
Let
there.
no, no. Let me just skip forward just to say this. Last week, I had an 11 leg get burned by minus 500. Ion Kutalaba, Felipe Lenz doesn't go the distance. This
Oh,
week,
yeah.
I
Oh,
had a 5 leg get burned by minus 750 Kennedy's and Chukwu, and a 3 leg where I put 2 units on there to get burned by fucking minus 750 Kennedy's and Chuku. Fuck these huge favorites. Now I completely understand why everybody says don't put a fucking huge favorite on your parlay just for a couple of extra change, because it
Yeah.
hurts so much more when it's already cashed and some fucking asshole goes out there and just
Yeah. A
does
buddy of mine
nothing.
had I think he had an 8 banger, and he sent it to me showing that he could get the buyout before the Kennedy fight because he still had Kennedy on it, and then he had I think Battle, and I'm like, he goes, should I take the cash out now? And I'm like, you can. I was like, the Kennedy might land. So then when I seen that it went to a split decision and he lost, I was like, God, man, I felt so bad for him because I was like, yeah, I probably could have also told you that Kennedy kind of sucks and it doesn't make any sense for him to be that much of a favorite because he's never actually that very fucking good in his wins. Sometimes he got some good finishes, but overall, to think that he's competitive for people and the higher up that he goes, I don't see everybody obviously not throwing a nickel on him next fight
so
unless
that's
it's
the
to
like
lose.
funny thing about betting is that like, you know, all of us in here are pretty intelligent. You know what I mean, to a certain degree,
Hmm.
and I just feel like we like Usman just said it right. Like he basically just said, okay, I fucked up because of this. And that's what smart people do. Smart people realize their mistakes. But the
Hmm.
tricky thing in betting is because you have like anomalies happen all the fucking time, you have that fucking tiny thought in the back of your head and you're like, I'm gonna break my rule. What's the big fucking deal? And I swear
Yeah.
to God, like 90% of the time we do that shit, it burns us. And then
When
and then the one time it hits, or that small time in that 10% it happens, you're like, see, I fucking knew it. And it's just
yeah, yeah.
it's a fucking devil on your
Well,
shoulder.
to me, I think it's always the scenario where you think, it's real. This is supposed to happen, and whatever is supposed to happen doesn't happen. And
Right.
that's I think a good example with the OSP. Like OSP is not supposed to win against who anybody. Yeah, so that is where we kind of fall into it, and we think, oh well, everybody can beat the hell out of him. But in all reality, OSP is still a veteran of the sport. Uh, I didn't like. I guess I should have put some betting on it once I looked at the weigh-ins because I thought OSP looked pretty damn good at that part. I was like, man, he doesn't look like a fat piece of shit like I would think he was going to be if this was just a retirement fight. He wouldn't fucking care, And so it didn't really surprise me. I did finally get to watch the fight just before the show,
Hmm.
and he totally won. Man, there's no doubt in my
Yeah,
mind.
for sure.
I mean, that was. I know it was a split decision, but easy to score, in my opinion. He was the aggressive striker. He was doing everything because that's how Kennedy fights. He kind
And
of
that's
pretty
the
much
thing,
gives the first
like,
round to all of his opponents. So,
yeah,
but
so hindsight's 2020, right? And it's like we watched the fight and we're like, I should have known this. Like Kennedy isn't an aggressor. He doesn't really push forward a lot. He kind of just depends on his power. OSP is old and he usually folds when he gets pressured. If you don't pressure OSP, he can do okay. And granted, he is old as hell, Kennedy let him fight his game. And it's like looking back, it's like, well, yeah, we know Kennedy's not super high volume, but you kind of just figured, oh, OSP's old as hell. Kennedy's young and he's got a lot of power. He's gonna just fucking put this dude out, and he didn't do it.
I mean, the closing odds on it, I would say some smart people did get in right at the end because he was at minus fucking 700, even hit minus 725 on Bet Online at 8 o'clock. But by the time it went down another 100 to minus 625. So some people did hop on the OSP high number and we're probably pretty damn happy at the end of that. We'll
I'm
move
I'm
back.
sure fucking OSP by split decision was a ridiculous
Oh,
fucking number.
gigantic. Fucking the plus six. They're like a, what, 4,000 or something like that, probably. And who was going to throw any fucking sprinkles on that? I mean, it probably wouldn't have been that bad of a idea because if we just acknowledged that Kennedy is not that good, and all of us said it every time somebody talked about it. So I do think that we kind of miss that as of the hardcores that watch all the fights. I mean, tape guys should see that as a pretty red flag. Mike Davis, the friend of the show, he went in there and beat the living fuck out of Levy, manhandled him in the first round, took it to the second round, and head and arm choked him on the side pretty good.
This man
That was
said,
the
"Hey,
big
you don't
one,
gotta love
submission.
what you do." He said, "You just gotta be good at it."
Yeah,
I
yeah, that's
That
true,
was
man.
nice.
fucking love that shit.
Yeah, the submission was a big. Uh, I told you guys earlier, plus 2,000 went all the way down to plus 550. The under 2.5 that was also opened at a minus 115, but went to a plus 135 by fight night. So a lot of people were given, I would say, a lot more respect to Levy that he was going to last longer. When it definitely, I mean, he even got knocked down with a hard punch in the first round. So I mean, he was bleeding in no time. Mike Davis looked fucking phenomenal in there. His next fight, they give him anybody that's not a name, and then he's going to be definitely winning, in my opinion, unless they give him somebody with some real talent.
Yeah, man. So I kept quiet about this fight all week because everybody seemed to be heavy on the Mike Davis side, and for some reason, Natan Levy just happens to be one of those weird fighters that I like.
You
I
like
was
him?
just yeah, yeah. For some reason,
And
I
his
like.
stupid fucking haircut?
I
Oh my
really
god,
can't tell
That's
you.
what Usman does. He just likes random ass fucking fighters,
random.
bro.
This guy's a cock too, man.
I
Yeah.
I really can't tell you why I like him, but I was like, man, y'all guys are really giving my boy. And I kept quiet because I knew y'all were gonna shit on me. But I was thinking like y'all really are giving him no fucking credit out here. Uh, I'll just go ahead and bet 1 unit on Mike Davis by KO and Mike Davis inside the distance. And well, the inside the distance cash, but not the
Yeah.
KO. I was not expecting the submission to come.
Not
Because
too many people did. That's for damn sure.
despite liking Natan Levy, I know he's not the best ever. And then both of them coming off a huge long layoff, it was just like, yeah, I'll just go with the guy who just looks better.
Yeah, I mean, it for the line to close for the under 2.5 to be so good. I guess is a little eye opener to me. Probably just because Mike Davis hadn't fought in a year as well, so both these guys were pretty cold coming into the fight. So maybe that is what kind of pushed into the people not really seeing finishes and thinking it was going to go to decisions. To the next is GM3 versus Brian Barberena. He got submitted in the second round. We look at their numbers here. The opening for GM3 was minus 155. He closed at a minus 260. I agreed with everybody that he was going to win. I was freaking still terrified because I know sometimes crazy shit happens in his fights that you don't like. But I also knew Barberino is not good at all. So all he had was the puncher's chance. He opened at a plus 135 and closed at plus 220. So everybody in their mom thought that he was going to lose. As for the over 2.5 and under 2.5, under closed at minus 175, opened at minus 150. So everybody expected this to end pretty quick as well. I had this on parlays. I probably should have spent some more money on some props. What about you?
Yeah, I just had the under on that 5 leg parlay. But I kind of just really didn't want to touch this one. Um, Mostly because everybody seemed to be on the Mearshart side. I
Mm-hmm.
also saw some people giving some love to Barberena by the KO, and I was thinking like, I mean, I guess it could happen, but like, I don't know. Like Mearshart is shitty, but he's not
But the submission's his
completely
game.
shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
the submission is his game, and this was the guy for him to submit easily with his size advantage and
And the only
that.
reason why I didn't go straight on the submission was just watching that Mahmoud Murdoch fight and thinking like, God, it's either because Mahmoud had a lot of fucking opportunities to get the submission in that damn fight against Barberena, and it's like it's either Barberena's submission defense is that good, or this Mahmoud guy really sucks and has no finishing instinct. And when GM3 is making it look pretty fucking simple, I guess it ends up being that Mahmoud Muradov has no finishing instinct at all.
Yeah. I mean, it was still a good win for him, even though, whoop de doo. Barberena's probably getting cut here pretty soon, unless he gets a fill in or something.
I honestly hope not. Right before the finish came, I was saying like I'm pretty happy for Barberena because he had already got the extension on his contract when his contract had came up, and he said he doesn't want to fight anywhere else other than the UFC. If they don't re-sign him, he's going to retire and he's done. He's just going to become a farmer on his
Mm,
land.
Until he
And
gets a phone call from BKFC.
and then they called
Yeah.
him back and he got this contract extension. So I'm happy that he's here just for the fact that this is the only place he wants to be. But now that you say it, um BKFC Barberena, that sounds pretty damn slick right there.
I
It
mean, he
makes
doesn't have to
sense
do
for
too
him.
many fights. Just take like two.
Well, so
Two.
that's the thing is like Usman, you just brought it up, right? So Dana basically just said, "Hey, man, we're going to extend you so you can make more money. However, we're just going to feed you to a shitload of grapplers, and you can just keep getting submitted. But at least you can keep collecting a paycheck.
Yeah, for real. And that's what I said leading into this fight on Tuesday. Like, Gerald Mearshart is the easiest fighter to cap because the
Easy."
only question you have to ask is, does the UFC want to push his opponent?
Hmm.
Barbareno was not the guy that they
Yeah.
wanted to push, so bet GM3 your lifetime.
You're on it.
And the book kind of told you that as well. On to the next. Our last of the ladies' fights was Macy making quick work of Panani.
Panny?
Panny? Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
Looks like Punani. Just fuck with it. That was pretty one sided in the books, minus 230 for Macy, which he closed at, opened at a minus 180. So, book had this pretty much the whole time. Anybody that wasted money on her, not really. The line stayed pretty much consistent all the way up, so no one really cashed in thinking that a dog was going to do anything. The under for women is always the key, and what do you know? Plus 275 for under 2.5, closed at plus 285. So the book sneaked everybody away from betting on this fight to have any activity under 2.5. Did we miss
Yeah,
it?
that one kind of pissed me off because like I knew 100% Macy was the side. I did this big spiel about liking both and really liking Penny, but knowing that she wasn't going to win this fight. And my dumbass went ahead and bet Macy by decision just because I thought, man, she's had to have shown some growth. There's no way she's going to go out there and get submitted just like she did when it was on The Ultimate Fighter. And then I also hit the over and got burned on both, man. Shout out to Macy. Good shit to go out there and make it quick work.
Bro,
Well,
isn't
it's so
that wild?
hard.
Because we're always sitting here talking about, like, hey, whenever there's rematches, they never go the same way as the first fight. And then every once in a while, you have ones like this that just fuck you, right?
No
Yeah,
doubt
it's
about that.
exactly how it went the first time. Like no deviation.
All right, ready for the main event? Christian
Although
Rodriguez
Oh, here we go, dude.
versus Isaac. What in the actual fuck? are you talking about to try to tell me this guy fucking won? Uh, oh my God. I mean, I will take it on this. I do have to take the L on. I did fall in love with his ground and pound. I totally agree with people that were stating that he hasn't made it out of the first round, and that's a red flag. I totally agree. A lot of it to me was just how much ground and pound wise he looked a lot better. Christian Rodriguez was definitely always moving, always in a kept himself from really getting finished or getting into that ground and pound situation because he kept on trying to get up the entire time. I think that's the only thing that really gassed him. Obviously, Isaacs has got a gas tank, flag on his record now from this fight. But in that first round, it did it only because C-Rod did not stop making sure he wasn't going to get fucking, finished in that fight. So he did a great job. He definitely proved me a lot more wrong on that. I mean, he got manhandled in the first round and definitely lost like 10-8 in that. And then in the second round, I mean, did he land strikes that were significant? Were they flashy? Yes, the knees were flashy, but he didn't capitalize on anything. He didn't turn around and now he's got control. And freaking Isaac is actually in a danger zone from these strikes. So that's why I can't give him the second round. It doesn't make any fucking sense that you just get some flashy trying to hit a guy because you want to get him the fuck off of you is all you're trying to do. And it didn't slow the guy down. He even gets to finish the round in control as well after you did land some nice punches. So to me, to try to have, even if you wanted to even call it a split round, I could, but it should not be for freaking Rodriguez. He still got manhandled the entire round. So, I mean, if we're just going to go on strikes, it's starting to get ridiculous that you can take somebody who's getting manhandled and then they land a fucking a special knee or something, and it's like, okay, everything completely is gone. Well, if you want to do that, at least have the fucking referee tell the other guy, hey, you got to do something now because you just lost all of the entire round because he did a fancy knee. I know it didn't really hurt you that much, but look really cool. So my rant's kind of over. Go ahead.
Um. So Andrew, you want to go ahead and grab the mic real quick? Go ahead, speak your mind, because I'm sure this is gonna go on for a while.
Yeah, okay. So what I will say is I will let you guys argue who won the fight. I actually want to go a different route with this fight. I'm gonna say we, and when I say we, I mean we as like the MMA community, just MMA fans all around the world. We always seem to give refs and judges shit like all the time. It's just one of those jobs where they're never going to be liked. They're always going to be criticized, but they're never going to really be praised. Well, I want to give them some praise for once because they actually, in terms of the first and the third rounds, they got this fight right. We are always constantly arguing about 10-8s and what's a 10-8 and what isn't. They got it right. Both times they got it right. The first round was a 10-8 and the third round was a 10-8. I usually don't see him for opposite fighters in fights, but that just shows you how fun the fight was. But I am very happy that the judges got both of those rounds right with 10-8s. Now the second round was very close. It can go either way. Like I said, I will let both of you guys argue who won the fight. But I just wanted to give some praise to the judges because they did really well with this one.
Yeah, I agree on the 10-8 thing. That's for sure. It's something we've always bitched about for a long time. I totally agree on that aspect. I mean, I just know this. Usman didn't say he won the second round when it was live. I guarantee you that. He
Actually,
waited until the end of the
actually,
fight and he was like, fuck yeah, I can't believe this. This is awesome. There's no way
actually,
that guy won. Now
you
let me
need to
call these
spend
motherfuckers
more
all bitches
time.
because they talked about it.
You need to spend more time in the group chat because I 100% said
I'm too
live
old for that shit.
they gave that second round to Rodriguez.
Right. I want that picture. I want it sent to
and
me tomorrow
and
because there's
and I
no
even
fucking
I
way he
even
got that round.
said
That is so freaking. That is just a scam to try to say that all a guy has to do is land one fucking flashy knee that doesn't really stun a fucking fighter and he wins the round, even though
okay,
he's getting controlled in all the other rules of the game.
I'm going to prove you wrong by asking you questions. I'm going to
And
let
it's
you
not going
come
to
to
work.
I'm gonna let you come to this assumption on your own. On
All
your
right, go
own.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. First
Because I watched it
question:
before this began.
did the first round look like the second round?
Uh, did the first round look like the second round? Yes.
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 No.
Yes.
No.
It did.
He did not. No. He did not
Who was
land
on
any
top and who was
strikes.
controlling?
He did not land any strikes from top. He did not attempt any submissions. He didn't do anything with with the ground control. The first round, coming out of that first round, Rodriguez had a
He
cut
just
on his
got
face.
takedowns. So he got
He
takedowns, but I guess those don't count in the second round. They only count in the first round.
second,
Yeah. Yeah. So he still took
why
him
I
down.
said in the group chat that you of all people cannot use control as a
You can
factor
in
of
four
winning a fight.
minutes.
You
It's not fucking
specifically,
2 minutes. It's
you
four
specific. Let's
minutes.
go. Let's go back to Andre Muniz versus Iron Turtle. That was 4.5 minutes of control. And who did you give the
Iron
round
Turtle
to?
landed fucking 20 strikes, not four more.
And who? Okay,
He
but
landed 20
still.
strikes. You
And you
don't
know
get to
what?
take the round
And
for
you know
four
what?
strikes.
Andre Muniz actually had effective grappling. What's his name? Dolgarian did not have effective grappling
Bulgarian
that
even took
second
him down at
round.
the end and pressured forward, landed strikes in their little scramble to still put him on his ass. You
Landed
like
two
So
strikes. He
all you got to
landed two
do from now
strikes.
on, then you have to say there are no rules. And if you just land a good strike, the fucking referee should just stick his hand up and be like, "You just fucking landed the most beautiful," and he's not doing enough. So you completely lose everything. We don't care what you did at all.
It's simple criteria.
No, it's
Look,
criteria that he was
look.
never in any type of finish.
Yeah,
He
a
never
hundred
controlled him.
percent, a
He
hundred
never
percent.
controlled him
He
at
was
all. He just hit
never
him in
control time
defense.
is not effective grappling.
Neither
Control
is
time
fucking
is
a
not
punch that doesn't really hurt a guy. So jabs now are going to win fights when
a
I'm
hundred
fucking
percent.
ragdolling you around and you're hammer
No, it's
fisting
not
me
a
back. And
ragdoll.
now
It's not a ragdoll when you
he
do
took him down
nothing
four
with it.
fucking times. He
But
took
what did
him
he do
down.
with it? Did he attempt a submission?
He tried to,
No, he didn't. Not in the second round.
not in the second round. He
No,
didn't
he
try. He
did.
didn't try
He
to.
did not. He did not attempt not one submission in the second round. If you look at the stats, he got
Oh well,
no
submissions. No, I
strikes.
didn't say that.
He
But he
he
did get
got
strikes.
no
Don't say he didn't get
strikes
any
on
strikes,
the
you lying
ground.
sack of shit.
He did not get any strike. Look at the stats right now. He did not get any
The only
strikes while
things
on the ground.
he had some knees, but I don't know if they would have
He
called it
had
ground
he
strikes.
had one strike upon the clinch, and all the control time is done either on the
Mm-hmm.
ground and on the clinch. So
Yeah,
therefore,
yeah, that one
Dolgarian
strike happens
landed.
to be in the second round. That's fucking crazy.
So therefore, Dolgarian
From the
landed
distance, he landed
one
seven.
strike with
He
all that
landed
control
freaking
time.
six. Okay, so the four strikes. All right, so it's 12, 12 to 8. So because he hit the head four times more, is that the reason why he wins? Because he hit the head four times more. That's all you got to do. You don't have to have the other parts to it where he controlled you for 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
But control means nothing if you don't do damage. It says it
What
very
damage did he do?
clear.
Okay, what damage did he do? Was he bleeding?
Dolgarian did no
Was he
damage.
bleeding?
Dolgarian did no damage. Look, at the
So he
very
did it
end of it,
0.1% of damage, and that
and
wins the round no matter what.
100%, a hundred
So
percent.
then why they are you that dumb? Come on.
No, I know how to read. I know how
Okay,
to
well then
read.
read
It
it
says
again
there.
that it's not just who strikes and lands more. There's other parts. It's not just strikes landed.
Okay, but look, the first thing that you judge is effective striking and
Uh-huh. It wasn't effective. He
effective
was falling all
grappling
over the place and he was swinging wild and
and
throwing things to land. He wasn't
and
actually making the fight
effective
count.
grappling.
It wasn't effective
Effective
grappling. He was
grappling.
controlled for 4 minutes.
I know, and what I'm saying is Dolgarian had no effective grappling. A
Yes, he
takedown,
did because
a
you took him
takedown
down.
is read the rules. A
Four
takedown is
fucking
not
takedowns.
effective grappling. A takedown is not effective grappling. What
So,
it is,
but still, what you're saying is strikes landed or significant damage, even though we didn't have any blood or any swelling or any knockdown or anything like that. He wasn't able to take him down with his amazing strikes that he landed. He wasn't able to take the control like he did in the third round. How come he didn't do that? If he did some of that, then hell yeah, all he was a guy still fucking trying to survive and get up off of his ass every fucking goddamn time. So
and landing
you're
the
giving
better strikes.
four, mother four.
The better. So look,
No,
okay, yes,
so the better
four
strikes to
gives
you
him
have to
both
be the
quantity and
tiniest
quality.
bit, and they can completely override. So would you even give it to him if he almost submitted him?
You know what? If Bulgarian did attempt a submission, 100% we would
That's all
not
he
be
had to do.
having
That's all he had to do. He
a
had to
hundred
attempt a
percent.
fucking rear naked choke, and he
Do you
completely
want to know why?
demolishes
Do
every
you want to know
freaking small
why?
tiny thing.
Do you want to know why?
There's no way in
Because
hell I would
that
give this
makes
fucking
it
round.
effective grappling. Takedowns is only a change of fight
Then
position.
we don't,
Clinching
then
a
we
bit.
shouldn't even keep track of it. We
That's
shouldn't
what
even keep
you've
track
been
of it.
saying this whole time.
No,
That's
if
literally
they,
what you've been
but
saying this whole time.
no, I've been
Every time,
saying that he's
every time
still
we've had these
controlling the fight.
every time we've had these arguments, you come here and you complain
I
about
say
how
no. I
a
say they
fighter
have to
should
have
not.
effective. If he would have landed a strike and now he stood up and he gave up with his grappling because of the strike, then yes, that was really significant. And it actually did change the whole mindset because now his game plan of taking you down is gone because he's actually scared of your strikes. Not, oh, he landed a magic knee off to the side while he was being taken down. So now he's completely the winner of this round. Look, everybody, this is what you need to do when you're getting destroyed in the grappling department. Just land a strike, and now it doesn't matter or anything like that. It's not in the aspect of me stating that I don't totally agree on guys being on the ground the entire time, but they're the ones still trying to do something for the fight. That's why I'm also giving credit to C Rod for never quitting and having great heart in this. A lot of guys would have got finished by him. I mean, anybody who still had Christian, you were shaking in your fucking boots in this goddamn fight. You were praying for a finish in the third round. You weren't saying, Usman told me that that was a pretty good knee. Yeah, you were not thinking that was going to fucking happen. You were totally looking at this fight and saying, "Holy shit, Christian Rodriguez has got a lot of heart." And how the fuck he got to the third round, and then that was probably the only reason he wasn't able to get a finish because he was tired as well. I mean, I totally agree on that, but there's just no way to signify what real aggressive competition is. Yeah, did he get an attempt to try to get into submissions in that second round? No, C Rod had a pretty good way of as soon as they got to the ground, he was making sure that he'd get himself up on that triangle because of the stupid rules of we can't kick in the head or we can't knee in the fucking head. You should also hate that then if you want to say that a punch can do anything. Kind of sucks that it can't hit you in the fucking head when you put your hand on the ground. I mean, that's a dumb rule too. Would you agree with that?
No, actually, I'm one of the few that doesn't like kicks to a
Oh,
ground
so
opponent.
I can be a bitch. I can just make sure and put my hand on the ground, even though you're grappling the fuck out of me, to make sure you don't kick my ass even more. But if
I don't.
I poke
We
you, if
can
I
have
pop
that
you in the
conversation
hand,
for another day.
yeah, I'm still right. So
What
you
in the
didn't prove me
goddamn
wrong.
fuck are y'all arguing about?
He
Wow,
doesn't know how to read the rules.
Isaac, you probably could barely even fucking pass English class, you motherfucker.
Hey, I passed the judging exam, homeboy. Um, so yeah, look, it's very simple. Look,
It's very simple.
He did nothing with the takedowns. He did
Okay,
absolutely nothing with the takedowns.
but he still landed
By
strikes.
by words, by the fucking rule book, a takedown is not effective grappling. It's just a change of fight position. A clinch up against the fence, all that control time does not count for nothing. It is not effective grappling. That's why if he would have gone for a submission attempt, it then becomes effective grappling and no longer a change of fight position. And I would be completely fine with Bulgarian taking the fight. So if you're going to look at it by
Still
the
correct.
rules and say that Neither of the fighters had effective grappling because despite the control time, none of that shit mattered.
Neither
Then you
had
look at the
effective striking. They only landed 12 and 8 strikes.
quantity and quality is on the side of Rodriguez. People are talking about just the one knee at the beginning. There was also a fucking knee that went straight to the head that had a loud crack up against the fence in the clinch. There was also a third knee that went straight to the gut. I'm not saying that they were fucking fight ending strikes, but they were
Well, they better
quality
be. They
strikes.
gotta be. They gotta be.
No, they just have
Why
to
should
be
anybody
quality.
even go for finishes? Shouldn't they stop going for finishes? Because on your logic, you're trying to say that it's just all about landing shit. And if I just land shit, I should just patty cake my way and start making the most boring fucking fights and be Bilal Muhammad style.
And he wins. And
That's
he
how I
wins
should do it. Well, he used
decisions.
to win with takedowns, but I guess he can't do that anymore.
No, the difference is that he wins with both. And like I said, when he gets takedowns, he doesn't just have control time with nothing. He attempts stuff. Quality. It's all about quality. It's all about doing damage with the stuff that you do,
Yeah, but what is
not
doing
just
damage? Why
hugging.
is the guy still coming forward, Usman? That's the part. That's the part that I don't give you anything like that.
Because
You
it's a
can't say that
fight.
just because, yeah, in the fight you have to do real fucking turnaround and damage of like a knockdown or something like that. He didn't. He just landed a couple more strikes, and you're justifying that as trying to say that steals the round. I mean,
It
you're
does
asking
though.
for fucking judge fraud. It makes it too simple to just say, well, yeah, now I get a bullshit line to say fuck you.
Wait, don't we want it to be simple though? Isn't that what we're always complaining about? Is
But
that we
it's
just want
never
the
going to
rules
be
to be
simple
simpler?
because next Saturday, this Saturday, the same thing's going to happen, and I'm going to show them how the takedowns won the fucking goddamn fight.
Okay, look, and that is something that I will
If
not
it was
argue
one
with
takedown or two
because
takedown, I would fucking completely agree. 4 minutes in 3 or 4 fucking strikes to take away and say, oh yeah, I can confidently say that then make it an even round. How about that? No one fucking did anything. You got a
judges
flashing knee? Suck a dick. Come on.
judges are not they're not
Are
supposed
crooked
to
as
give
fucking dumb as shit.
even
And
rounds.
Saul Almano is a fucking retard. The guy is never consistent. He fucks up all kinds of shit all over the time. If you want to sit here and try and act like he is a justifiable judge that's always right on the fucking money, it's not Saul.
Hey, how much money did you have on this fight,
Hmm?
dude? Because I only had one unit on C-Rod. Jesus Christ.
Well, I lost $200 on for sure. But like still, I will argue the second round is not. You don't give that to fucking C Rock. No, you don't.
Look, you just got to do something. He did nothing with his takedowns.
But
Absolutely nothing.
but he did.
No,
He
look at
controlled
the
him from
stats.
doing anything
One
else.
for one for
Four
one,
strikes does
zero
not
for
look at the
zero.
stats. Four
One
strikes
for
does not look at
one,
the stats.
zero for zero.
All right,
That's what you have to look
from
at.
now on, if you ever say somebody with more strikes landed fucking doesn't win on a judge's scorecard, you're a hypocrite. Then Cheeto. So is Cheeto's fights where he gets hit fucking a million goddamn times, but actually does real damage? They get to come up with that, or they should say, well, he does hit
N-
him,
No, quality
because
versus
then we come
quantity.
over the cut,
And it
and
just
the
happens to
Diaz brothers
be
get
that
to get
C
cut
Rod
easily.
had quality and quantity. That's what you're not
He
understanding
didn't, but
here.
he did not. You're such a freaking liar.
You
It's a
you
little
can't
fucking
even you
tap
can't
out of
even you
nowhere on
can't
your
even
back.
bring up any strikes that Bulgarian did have.
I did. I told you at the end of the round, he landed one and fucking took him down again. He controlled the whole fucking match. He controlled the round.
So he got
C Rod
outstruck.
did not.
He
He
got
got
he got
outstruck, is the only
outstruck.
thing that you could say.
He
And
got
a guy
outstruck.
who
Did he
was,
land any shots of significance? No.
they both landed. We're talking about 4 shots. You're saying four landed strikes. They don't even have to be actually hard because
And
there was
not
no blood,
every and
there was
not
no
every
bruises,
strike
there was
is the
no
same.
knockdown. Then a knockdown to you has to be fucking worth $1 billion.
I mean, in boxing, a
Like,
knockdown is an
but
automatic 10-8,
okay,
is it
then what
not?
is? Yeah, in boxing. This ain't boxing, homie. Since this ain't wrestling, this ain't boxing. All right. But from now on, anybody gets a
So it is.
knockdown, they should get a
So
10-8.
it's
And you
it's
install should be
very
given
much a
10-8s for
qualitative
any
strike
knockdown.
then.
Well, but a quality strike, a knockdown should be fucking Superman's powers in that aspect. They should be high. You have to give it way more than anything. I mean, and that goes for all knockdowns.
It sounds
So
like you
Fucking
look,
just
10-8.
disagree with the rules.
No, I
I mean,
don't. I don't disagree with
it's
the
this.
rules. Then what is the fucking? Then tell me that. Why in a knockdown don't I get a 10-8 automatically? If I can win a round by just striking back four more times from a guy who's controlling me the entire fucking fight, this is just
Because you
like two
did
stand-up guys with
nothing with
nobody
the
doing.
control.
You
You
didn't do anything
literally
either.
did
That's why you had
nothing.
to just land a couple more strikes. You
Exactly. Yes, you are 100% right.
so you just have to land a couple strikes.
When you do nothing
Then
with the
you should get.
control,
Then it
you
should have been a
give
ten
up
seven
every
in the
right
first
to
round and
win
a
the
ten
round.
seven in the fucking third round.
You can sit
Then
there
it
and
should be ten
sniff on my
seven and ten
nuts for
seven.
5 minutes, but if I give you nothing but elbows to the head while you're clinching on
Maybe
me,
if it was
hugging
20 to
for a
fucking
fucking
10.
takedown,
If it was
then
20 to
yes,
10. If it was
the
fucking 5
strikes
to 20.
win.
Yo, you guys
Fucking the
know that if you're
turtle
talking at
landed
the same
strikes.
time, no one can
Shut the
understand
fuck up,
anything,
Andrew.
right?
If the turtle landed 20 fucking strikes more than that in the first fucking round, or in that round that we were talking about in the past, not in this one, he landed four. In all reality, you're trying to say two strikes are enough to completely solidify the scoring of a fucking fight.
And that's why I brought up the turtle fight because
But the turtle
unlike
fight is a lot more higher in freaking damage and more completion of real uh, doing damage and landing strikes that actually stopped a guy from being able to do what he was doing, into this where they barely did anything. He was in
you know
defense
what it's
mode the entire
also a
way as
great
well.
example of? It's also a great example of effective grappling because Andre Muniz had his back and was fishing for subs for fucking 4.5 minutes. Go ahead
Well,
and
and
give it
that's
to
why he was
Joe.
taking away because of that fucking up with his uh, in the
And
triangles.
what's his name did absolutely nothing with any of his control time.
What's his
Did
name? Don't you
nothing.
call him what's his name? His name is the
can I
fucking
ask can I ask a
motherfucker.
question?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask the question to Rhino, and I don't want you to get all hyper on me. I just want you to answer me. So if two guys are against the cage,
Mm-hmm.
a clinch, and one guy has his back against the fence, clearly that's what's going on, and
Mm-hmm. Did they go out to dinner before this?
then they turn around and the other guy has his back on the fence. What happened?
Or,
What is that?
the the switch of control. No, he's
The
goes
the
back to the
the
cage.
change of position.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's an actual change of position. Yeah.
Okay, so in the terminology of judging criteria,
Mm-hmm.
a takedown is simply viewed
I know Usman
as
said that
a
a million
change
times, but
change
it's
in
not.
position, and if nothing happens after the change in
Should we start?
position,
Should we
no,
start
no,
keeping
because
record
you
of the
don't.
change of position
You're
to the cage? Should we start
so
keeping
yeah.
track of
If
that?
we're gonna do it your way, cool.
Put a
Every
stat.
time a
It better
motherfucker
be.
flips around, it's a
Every time
takedown.
I touch you with a jab, I won the round.
That's not at all.
But that's
That's
what you
not at
just gave.
all.
You gave a guy four extra strikes, took away everything else that happened in the round. So no one has to act. You can point fight and win. If you do
So
hammer
hey
fist, you
Rhino,
can
let me
win
ask.
from your
Put
back.
this fight aside. Put this fight aside and stop thinking about it. Right? Just stop for a minute. I want to ask you a question. Where you work? Like you don't have to tell me the place. Like what ish do you do?
I'm an accountant. I do finances.
All right. So there's you work in an office with like some guys.
Yes.
All
No,
right.
no, from home.
Cool. So if two of them get into a beef, right? And then they're like, I'm gonna beat your ass, I'm gonna beat your ass, and you're a fight fan, so you're like, hell yeah, I'm about to watch this fight, right? Like I know, because I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, leave him alone, leave him alone, leave him alone, let him fight, right? Okay, so they're gonna fight, and one dude tackles the guy and lays on him and sprawls around and doesn't let him get up for like 8 minutes, and then the dude gets up and gets punched in the face 5 fucking times and doesn't have a mouth guard in, so his tooth gets knocked out. Who wins the fight?
Now you're talking real damage. Not
Yeah, well, who?
he hit him 3 times. He did
Five
not.
punches,
Joe,
four
Joe,
punches,
listen to me.
four
Listen to me.
punches.
All right.
Who won the fight?
After
No, no,
giving
no.
me the
Who
movie
won the
roll,
fight,
give
Rhino?
me the movie roll.
Tell
Thank you
me
for the movie
who
roll.
won the fight.
Tell me how many times he got knocked down in this round.
I
Did he get
didn't
knocked
say
down? Oh
knocked
yeah,
him
he didn't.
down.
He didn't get
I
knocked
did
down.
not
He
say
actually didn't
knocked
even
him
hurt him
down.
because he
I'm
got
not
taken
talking
back
about
down on
your
his
fight.
ass
I'm talking
after he
about my
landed your
fight.
magical fuck. Your fight is a movie thing that's in the backyard where Mike Tyson takes out and knocks him on the fucking ground. Yes, I got it.
No,
It makes sense.
my fight is something you don't
But
want
your
to
fight is
answer.
not. It's not myth. It's no. Of course, I can understand because the guy who got taken down got up and knocked him out in your story. You're
I didn't
knocking
say
the
knocked
guy
out. I
out.
said knocked his tooth
Knocked
out.
his fucking tooth out. All right, that's
There we go.
damage. That's real fucking knockout. Yeah, you really did a hit. He didn't do that. He fucking caught him with a knee, trying to get separation. Okay, so he defensively put in something. That to me is not good enough to
Where'd
say,
that
all
knee
right,
hit him?
you where that knee hit him. It hit him slightly on the chin was one. The
Okay.
other one to like a body. So those could probably not even be a significant strike
So definitely
because you
could have
can't
knocked the
really
tooth out
know.
if there was no mouth guard.
What about the one? What about the one directly to the face while they were up in the clinch? His head
So is a
knocked all
kick
the
to
way
the
back.
head. So is a kick to the head like a fucking $1 million to you guys too?
Yes, a kick to the head.
A kick to
Yes,
the head.
hurts live.
Even if you don't know how good it actually landed, it's worth more, even though that's not in the rules. So I don't know where your fucking reading came in.
Hey, you've got a guy with his hand up for like 10 minutes here, host.
I don't give a shit, Joe. Aussie, what do you got?
Yeah, this has been real entertaining, man. When we're talking about scoring criteria and the judges and all this kind of bullshit, this isn't the first time we've seen a fight like this. We've seen heaps of fights like this. This is a time where they got it wrong.
This
That's
is
why
getting
everyone's
pretty
arguing.
tight, though. This is getting
Yeah,
pretty tight, though, because they're not consistent. That's the reason
that's
why.
the problem. That's the problem. If they all scored round two for what's his name, um, no one's having this big fucking argument because we've seen it scored these rounds scored for the person with 4 minutes top control consistently. So forget about what it says in the rule book. So no one's reading the fucking rule book and then making bets based on what it's going to say in the rules. We're
Usman reads the
making
rule
bets
book
on
every
how.
night before bed. Aussie, he
Yeah,
reads it right before he
we're
goes to
betting
sleep.
on these fights based on how we know judges score them. We know if we're betting on Marab, he's going to get fucking 10 takedowns, a bunch of top control, probably not going to land a bunch of damage. But we know we're going to bet on this guy because of all the top control. And that's what happened in that second round. And it wasn't only one judge scored it for him. So that's where the argument is. If these judges were consistent, I would have no problems. They just fucking hire three judges, and it's the same fucking three judges for every single fight.
Yeah.
We get to know how they score it, and how come you scored it for this guy this time? Last time you scored it wrong. Now there's a fucking problem. But when it's judges we've never heard of and all this bullshit, just hire the fucking judges. I don't care what it says in the rule book. Be consistent with how you're scoring these fights because
Mm-hmm.
we've seen C-Rod or a guy that would be C-Rod in that position lose that round many times, more often than not.
90% of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I get that it's not the same as. I mean, to me, it's just not anywhere that you could say that the strikes were, very, fight changing. Like, yes, he landed something. It was like, ooh, but it wasn't fight changing to me to where like now he's got his back to the cage or now he's controlling this little bit of grappling here into it and because now they did scrap at the end of the round and he landed some his most of his strikes right there at the end. So even if you wanted to play that Solomano thing and oh yeah he fucking that's an actual significant strike there, uh, he did the same thing at the end, and then he closes the round out with control. So I guess he had to hit him 4 more times in a combo to actually steal the round back, and he doesn't even know. I mean, that's a lot that you're trying to add. I mean, it just comes to me as a way of fraudulently giving a cop out and saying, well, yeah, well, he did tag him on the nose that one time, so that's why I gave it to him I mean, it was a good grappling exchange. I mean, now on grappling exchanges, we don't do the same thing. We don't give any information towards what a submission attempt really is. Because some guys like Ryan Hall does a ton of submission attempts and it's like amazing. And then other times it's absolutely fucking boring as hell because he's just laying on his fucking back. How do we score that? That's not in the rule book. You know, so a lot of this stuff is very fucking difficult. It's just very annoying on how much they can be very inconsistent. I mean, I thought that if uh, Isaac did gas from, not being in later rounds, I still thought that like one of them would finish each other. So I lost my other amount on them going to a decision because I thought at least somebody would get finished. So that's why when I get to the third round, I was like, cool, at least I'll almost like break even on this if he just fucking finishes him. But then freaking, C Rod was almost too tired in the third round to finish it.
Let me ask you this: do you think that the judges were more so giving C Rod that round because what's his name, Delgarian, whatever his fucking name is,
Yeah.
that first round was so dominant. They all three judges gave him a 10-8. Do you
Yeah.
think that kind of made them lean more towards C Rod after that such a dominant round? Because I think if you took some
Yeah.
judges and showed them just round two, I think most judges would score that for Delgarian.
Yeah.
But because he had
I
such an
guarantee it.
amazing dominant round, and then you say, "Oh, he's coming back. He's doing a lot better. He's looking tired." All that kind of stuff's in your head. But if that was the only round they seen, I'd say on a large clip, all judges score that for Delgarian because we've
Yeah.
just seen it too many times.
I agree. I agree.
Now you see, consistency is something that I won't argue with. Now, if you're gonna have that argument, I'm
Oh, we could be
completely
wrong
cool with
again.
it.
My bad.
I'm completely cool with it. But I'm just letting you know that because he did nothing with his takedowns and there was absolutely
So
nothing
what do you have to do
done
with your
by
takedowns? Do you
Doguri,
have to get full mount with that takedown, sir?
that would be effective grappling. Yes, you
Mm-hmm.
go and start changing position. You start throwing some strikes, which he had zero of zero of. You do effective grappling. Like it's very plain and clear. Effective grappling is not just getting takedowns. And honestly, it looks
Well,
bad
it's
that
just
he
landing a
got so
knee.
many take.
No, you just need a knee. What the hell are you talking about? You just need a knee.
Yeah, like I
Fucking
really
land that
don't know
knee. You
what you're
fucking
arguing.
go.
Yes, yes. If you don't do shit with your
and
with your
if you go,
grappling, and I land a knee, I am automatically winning because you
yeah,
did
in the Bay
nothing.
Olympics, it'll be a great fight. And
And Fuego,
Fugo and Fuego. What do you got?
You guys will get it right sometime soon. So listen, I think a lot of the outrage on the fight is just, we all know this. It's based on the gambling perspective. Guys that are on Bulgarian are madder than guys that are on C Rod, right? So obviously there's going to be
Because
some
they're
anger.
amazed. Because the
Yeah,
C-Rod people are amazed that it fucking pulled through.
yeah.
Because they
No,
were
I don't
shaking like a
disagree.
fucking leaf in that first round.
But I want to make one more point too, and Aussie's right. But let's say that Bulgarian. I mean, C Rod only landed three more significant strikes in the
Or
second round than Bulgarian. Whatever it was, it doesn't really matter. But I think we overlook the fact that, it doesn't. You're right. He didn't take him down. He didn't try to do submissions. That man controlled another man for 4 minutes and 11 seconds of a round without Rodriguez doing a single thing to combat it. 4 minutes and 11 seconds, and C Rod is no joke. So sometimes I think we look at it. You remember a few years ago, Holly Holm, I don't know, it was a 5 round fight, held somebody up against the fence for about 5 rounds and didn't do anything, but she controlled 5 rounds of the fight and won. I mean, I think sometimes we overlook the fact that what this guy did for 4 minutes and 11 seconds of a round is pretty unbelievable in the UFC. Whether he did anything with it, you know what I mean?
oh, I 100% agree with you, and I think that plays a role into his next fight. Isaac's fight. What do you take from this? I would say that he's still one hell of a grappler. That's for damn sure. He took on somebody like C Rod. He proved me wrong. I didn't think he was going to have because of the 18-year-old man. I was like, cool. You got he came back and beat a gassed 18-year-old kid, but then when I seen the background of this Isaac's freaking wrestling and how he was a Division 2, and I'm like, well, the first round's got to be like fucking lit. So I mean, I definitely went down the fucking, lovey-dovey hole where, when you start taping fight and watching it and you're like, oh, everything's matching what I think, so you just fall in love with it more. And, I definitely could have put in that. I tried to use the backup of the under 2.5 because I didn't think they would go into a decision or anything like that. So that part, I can take the fucking, L4 all the way.
I,
Uh,
I tweeted out today, if that guy can control his output in round one in, a minute or two into round two, Bulgarian,
yeah.
he's going to be really freaking hard to beat in that
Oh,
division.
definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
Not
he's just got to control that output, man. It's just
Mhm.
it's got to slow down.
Well,
not
it is
just
also,
that. There's
but
not
you could
many
also say that
people.
that's C Rod being very good too. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dom.
there's
Yeah,
not many
yeah,
people
no
that are
doubt
going to
about
make
it.
him work as hard as C-Rod did on top. There's just not a lot of guys. He's going to get out of there. He's going to continue these getting these finishes.
Well, because he popped up into that freaking triangle position, I mean, I think you should be able to kick him in the head, but you're not allowed to. And that's how he threw him off because he couldn't get him into a real ground and pound thing that he's done with all of his past opponents because he was, propping up and making sure that he had, he put him in a cradle at one time. It was actually in the second round that he put him in that cradle to take him down, but he couldn't get his ground MMA grappling of that ground game is what kept C Rod back in this. That's the reason why he didn't really get finished is because he kept on, rolling and spinning up into the sides to keep this fight of getting taken down so many times. That's how he gassed, actually. But to
Yeah,
me, that was just all heart.
the other thing too is I give Bulgarian a tremendous amount of credit for not getting taken out in the third round,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
withstanding that shit. So we can take away that he's going to learn something from this fight, and if nothing else, he's got heart. I'll tell you
yeah,
that, because that
yeah, no
third
doubt.
round, man, he was done for.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty intense.
actually,
But I was wrestling. I was against
I
him too. How you get that fight where you're like for him, and now it's the third round. I was like, well, finish him. Give me my fucking money. At least let me make it a halfway. Ozzy,
yeah
go
I had
ahead, and then
that.
we'll move on.
I had that fight ends in draw actually at 80-1, and I thought, oh, maybe that first round was a 10-8. But then everyone was kind of watching. We thought, no, that wasn't a 10-8. But then I thought for sure round three was a 10-8. So I thought
Yeah,
he was down the first two rounds and then won a 10-8 round three. So I thought that draw was coming.
yeah,
But
draw. You're right because yes, he did. He did some pretty flashy submission attempts in that first round. I think that's what justifies the judges giving that 10-8. But it was obviously a way more dominant third round where C Rod just completely. He was very close to finishing. I mean, 35 strikes to five. Where if you look at the first round, it's at 9-1.
yeah,
Submission attempts, though, are obviously the big part because there was two solid submission attempts. I think he was almost asleep, uh, for sure.
you can't have four takedowns over 4 minutes control and say the grappling wasn't effective either. It was
No, it
obviously
just was
effective.
change of position, Ozzy. It was change of position. It wasn't anything else.
Oh,
Well,
Learn the
Usman, my
rules.
bad.
Learn the
You gotta
one
rules.
learn
one
this
more
one part of
thing.
the rule.
Yeah, go ahead.
You all told Andrew to shut the fuck up. He hasn't said a word since.
He listens, doesn't he? He's really fucking great. He knew I was not in the mood. Okay. All right. On now that we can talk about my sadness,
Rhino,
we can go to everybody
just
else's
before we
sadness.
go on, you got my wife cracking the fuck up. She's been listening to this whole time. She says, "Y'all are two grown ass men fighting about other men fighting."
Go back to your kitchen. Oh, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Go to the laundry room. Uh, on to the OSP. Everybody doubted him. They totally thought he was going to get his third, third or fourth Von Flue choke. Was what we were all dreaming for the night. But no, Kennedy is exactly what everybody has said for many times. He's really not that good. He doesn't actually pull the trigger and kind of go with some stuff. So he kind of just turned it into a dogfight. And OSP was like, I'm an old guy that does this for money. So that's great that you want to just stand and bang. because I can be aggressive and I'll win every freaking judge's scorecard on that because he took too much time in that first round. Yeah, the third round was probably the only one that was actually close, and OSP actually even went off at the very end of the round pretty decently, in my opinion. But another split. I'm not sad on this fight going with the split to give it to OSP because I don't think Kennedy did enough in the first and second round to really say that they were dominantly his. What do you got?
As the only Kennedy's Nchukwu super fan in the whole world, fuck that asshole. I will never be a fan of him. I've never liked him. Like I said, I didn't have anything on this straight, but
Kennedy
motherfucker
was
was
never my friend.
Kennedy was never my friend. Um, a win here was gonna close out two parlays. It was gonna put me over like 12 units, and this piece of shit just went ahead and went on to just, I'm gonna lay back and let this old fucking man just beat my ass. I wasn't even watching live. I was taking my kids a bath and coming and peeking, and I was like, oh fuck, this doesn't look good. All y'all in the chat said that this was
Yeah.
not looking good for Zinchukwu. Um, God, that fucking sucks, man. But you know what? I will be happy because I did guess perfectly on OSP coming in and making his 250,000 to show and walking away with retirement. He got to win. He doesn't have to retire. Keep making that fucking good money, man. Fuck you for not making me any money, but yeah.
All
Austin.
right. Who was the next? Yeah, I think it was Ozzy.
Yeah,
Austin.
his fucking corner was screaming at him. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta be first. You gotta go. And he just did nothing until the third round. I
Yeah.
know he starts slow in all his fights. I didn't expect him to come out and just buzz saw through him in fucking round one, but round two he still didn't go. In round three, from what I remember, he didn't really go until he got dropped, and then he turned into a fucking just madman. But before that, he was letting the whole fight slip through. I still had him up. I thought he was still up 2 rounds, but
I mean, I
um,
do think the big miss was the over 1.5.
yeah,
Because I think
yeah,
what we really have to start getting into, and I guess I'm seeing this commonality, is now that we have these, UFC vets, because there's obviously lots of MMA vets, but these UFC vets like OSP that have over 10 fights in the UFC, they've been around for a long time. We love them and hate them, but when they take on new guys, which Kennedy's a new guy, yes, he's gotten a few. Uh, Fights now. I think he's got 4 or 5. But he's not an old G like OSP is. And we think that, oh, well, they should just totally smoke him. I mean, they gave us a free. I mean, to me, I'm pissed off at myself for not blowing money on a plus 130 at over 1.5 just because I thought OSP was going to get smoked by a guy who doesn't smoke anybody.
yeah. That's true. He doesn't.
I
He's
missed it.
only got 2 first round finishes, I think,
Yeah.
and one of those guys he finished is like 6-14, and 12 of those losses were in round one.
Yeah. Ah,
So it's not that he's not a bulldozer. He doesn't he's got a lot of finishes in the second round.
yeah.
But I had some fights. So I had him to win in round two, and I had him by TKO in a big bet, and that just crushed me.
Yeah. If we go ahead.
Yeah, this won't be popular to say, but I'm going to say it because it's how I see the fight. Nothing in that fight looked normal, guys. Nothing from a 40-year-old that's been knocked out who's done to a guy that has KO power with tremendous elbows. Nothing from round 1, 2, 3 looked normal in the fight. And I'll just leave it
Mhm.
at that.
Well, are you meaning kind of like they just didn't go by any game plans and
No,
Kennedy
USADA.
was a
He's
deer in
saying
no.
headlights?
USADA, man. Come on.
I'm
Oh, you
telling
saw
you,
it.
He
Kennedy
even
looked
looked
like,
younger. His
Yeah,
face
I'm
looked
telling
10
you,
years younger.
I'm
yeah,
saying Kennedy looked like he threw the fight. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
And if we
Uh,
don't think that that happens in this sport, it happens in the NFL, it happens in the NBA, it happens. It
That didn't
just
even
didn't.
cross my mind, but
It
five
just
to one.
didn't look. You guys
Add
watch.
something on that.
It just
And
didn't look right.
Fuego, I'd like to add something what you
Yeah.
just said. I saw a tweet from Dave Mason that said there was more like bets on Kennedy and parlays than there was on like the spread bets on like two of the biggest college basketball games that day. And like he was in apparently like more parlays and so many spread bets in college basketball. So you
Makes
could be right,
sense.
man.
Well, look, the only
I mean,
thing
it's
I'll
kind
say
of.
about it not being normal was Kenny Nchukwu broke his record for the most strikes landed in his UFC career. Um, we know
Yeah,
he's very low volume and broke a record here and still really shit the fucking bed. I honestly felt that after he got hit the first time, because rewatched it earlier today. After he got hit the first time, he just said, I'm pussy. I'm not going to fucking take another shot from OSP.
but that was in the
Yeah.
third round. I'm talking about rounds 1 and 2 when his corner is screaming at him and we can all hear it to
But
move
that's in
forward
his
and
past
strike,
fights.
and nothing happened.
But that's in
You
his
know what I mean?
past fights. He's been getting yelled at in his by his corner in all of his past fights in the first 2 rounds because they're like, dude, you're a fucking minus 300 favorite. I mean, if we look at him, he's been a favorite in just about every one of his fucking fights.
I mean, against Carl Roberson in his first round, he landed 3 strikes. In the second round, he landed 2 strikes.
He's 6-5.
That's another 3 rounder.
He came off a
Against
knockout loss to fucking Dustin Jacoby.
Dustin Jacoby's a good fighter.
Yeah, oh, without a doubt, he's an older
Against
fighter
Nikolai Nigamaranu, he landed 16 strikes in the first round,
and won by
24 in the
split.
second round. Like like I said, I'm the only fucking Zinchuku fan in the world, and I don't know, man. Him starting slow and fighting like a bitch sometimes is kind of the way he fights, man. He gets hit, he gets backed up against the fence, he fucking curls up, and then he'll land a big shot or he'll get out of trouble. Uh, like I said, I think he felt OSP's power and just said, I don't want none.
It just didn't pass the eye test for me. That's all.
All right, on to the eye poke. Brian Battle, uh, Inge Lusa. I don't know if that's exactly how you're supposed to say his last name,
Sure,
but
let's go with that.
Lusa took the eye poke. I don't think it looked that bad. He didn't give much time to it. He was get Battle looked fucking scary in there. I mean, I really do think he was going to destroy him. Uh, he's definitely got a whole new game plan. I don't know what camp was, but camp went good because Battle came out there ready to rock. He was not willing to, or he was willing to get hit back. You know, he was coming very aggressively, which allows you to get, strike upon as well. But yeah, he looked really good in that first round. It was easy to score. And then the second round, yeah, I mean, he just looked too okay to me. But, as soon as he started asking for the doctor and stuff like that, and then the aftermath of it kind of went pretty crazy. As for lines, I did put down the just beginning, opening, and close. Battle was a minus 140, went to 207. Uh, so it kind of leaned, the more talk it went around, the more Battle was the favorite. Anybody got anything on this? Since it went to no contest, we don't really have a winner.
Yeah, I got my fucking money back, sadly.
Yeah.
I really wanted to win this fucking bet, but yeah, I mean, I parlayed battle and battle by decision with Tabura 1, 2, 3. I thought I was home free, especially the way Battle was looking, stuffing takedowns. Shout out to Battle. He looked a hell of a lot better than he's ever been. I know a lot of people were talking about Lusa getting those takedowns. Um, Impressive, impressive. And as for the after fight shenanigans, Battle said it perfectly. You can't fucking be acting like you can't see and want to throw down as soon as the fucking no contest is written off. It's a bunch of bullshit. Get it, Aussie.
Yeah, that was. I was on your guys' space last week. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Lusa, man. He's gonna get this guy. What a terrible read, man. You lost your money. I got my money back, thankfully. But Battle, you could tell in the first 90 seconds, man. Battle was gonna kick this guy's ass. It was. I don't know, man. He better Loser better hope they don't just force him to rebook this fight. I assume they're gonna. But
Oh,
yeah,
Dana
Battle.
White's gotta. We just
Yeah,
gotta
he
just now
loves that kind of
gave a little
shit.
bit of money. Well, and I'd say that's also the negative about Lusa. Like you can't really promote this guy. He's also, he's a lay and pray style fighter. So, he's kind of. I think he was put into this to lose. I mean,
Yeah. And this is Dana White doesn't like this shit when this stuff
yeah.
happens. Co-main event, he'll
The only
he'll
way
he'll
he
put it
likes your
back. But
takedowns is if you're finishing people. If you don't finish people, he hates you.
just I wasn't watching with the listening to the commentary when Bisping came back in the cage and started talking to Lusa, and then he realised he was being filmed and kind of shit his pants. Was there audio? Did
I
anybody
have no
hear?
idea.
No, I don't think there was audio. I think that he didn't have a hot mic at that moment.
Oh, okay, because it looked like he said, "No, he's a fucking pussy." He pushed out or something, and then he realised he was being filmed, and fucking Pooh Bear just fucking exploded laughing. He's like, because he thought Bisping got busted, saying this dude's a fucking pussy or
Yeah,
something.
that's funny.
Oh, that's
So
definitely what he was saying, but no, I
yeah,
don't
that's
think
from a
that's what
guy
was
who's had
thought.
his eye fucking yanked out, dude.
Way to go.
Bisping.
Yeah,
Fuego. Go ahead.
you know what my takeaway from this fight was is how good is Renat Fakhretdinov for what he did to Pooh Bear in that octagon? Because Pooh Bear's looked well, whatever the hell his name is, the butcher. He's looked so good, and Fakhretdinov did a number on him. So how good is that guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he took him down like 9 or 10 times, didn't he?
Yeah, he dominated him.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, pretty
I
unreal
just want to
performance
go
from him.
ahead and believe that it was a bad night for Battle because I've always thought Fakhretdinov is just okay. But no, I mean, that's a great takeaway because Lusa couldn't do shit. And I know a lot of people were thinking Lusa was going to get his ass.
Hey, he beat up Kevin Lee, so that means he's strong as hell. All right, to our main event where we got to watch some people's hero uh, kind of act like himself for maybe 15 seconds. And then he got completely manhandled on the ground and it looked really sad. We don't know what the future is, but we do know what the lines were. The lines opened on the money for Taboria at plus 110. He closed as a minus 110, so he was one of your flippers. And then Tuivasa uh, opened as a favorite of minus 130, closed at minus 117. If you did go to that prop of the submission, it opened at plus 350 and closed at 400. So no one actually really invested in the submission win if they thought DeBoria was going to win. The under 1.5 opened at plus 155 and closed at minus 105. So it looks like the betters only decided to say, we don't know who's going to win, but we know it ain't going 1.5. Anybody got any big money? I kind of stayed away from it just because I didn't I like Tuivasa. Tiboria, I did like him at one point in more on the aspect of saying that he was going to win type of things. He looked really bad, obviously, and his Cyril Gahn fight was pretty bad. Am I talking out of my ass on that one?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, I just had Tybura to get a takedown. It was really close to his money line. I think it was minus 130 or something.
No,
I thought
that's
there's
a
no
good
way
one.
he's going to win without getting a takedown. And
True. Good,
I thought he
good
could have
point.
probably,
Good
like
point.
we've seen with Gaziev the week before, get a takedown and then get knocked out or lose. So I kind of covered him still getting knocked out if he survived. But yeah, that sucks for Bam Bam Man. What's it, 4 in a row now? All finishes.
Yeah,
There's a Perth card, Australian card coming up in August, I think. So UFC 304. I'm sure he'll
he'll
get a
be
slot
there,
on
but he'll
that.
probably be in the stands.
Yeah, look, they
Giving
need to put him
cheerleaders to
against
people
someone shit, man. Dontel Mays or fucking Parker
because
Porter.
he's too young. He's 31.
And he's a
And
fan
he's a
favorite,
heavyweight.
man. People love
He's a
him.
fan
He's a
favorite, and he's
heavyweight,
a
man.
heavyweight, and like heavyweights, can fight until they're 40. So I don't think he's gone. I think he's going to get another fight without a doubt. They're going to give him the biggest tomato can they fucking can.
Yeah,
It
just
seemed,
feed him. Yeah.
it seemed like besides Kennedy, Tuivasa was the MMA Twitter mush of the week, KO round one, right? And now you're
Mhm.
starting to see it with Peyton Talbot. You're already starting to see it on Sunday night. All the guys out on Peyton Talbot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's always the same thing. It's always disastrous, especially if it's the main event. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what we
Yeah.
saw.
I don't
That
know
is a
how
good fight,
people
that
went
Peyton
from
Talbot fight. That is a good fight. We'll talk about it in a little bit.
I don't know how people went from shitting on Talbot 2 fights ago, saying that he was gonna get fucking beaten, to now he's going to beat fucking Cameron Simon, who's somebody who was just getting hyped up before the fucking Rodriguez fight. Like, MMA Twitter has really short memories.
That's very true. I mean, you're definitely into that. I mean, I've got nothing left for the breakdown. Usman, did you give your numbers on your little fight cards? You want to
Um,
spit that, or you just want to? I'm closing this
I'm.
motherfucker at midnight, so you got
I mean,
25
we
minutes. So
didn't.
if you want to talk next week's fights,
Yeah, I mean, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 predicted 7 of the fights perfectly with the strategy and going over and under. So it's another good night. I know by next Sunday I'll add all the stats onto the 2024 results and the all-time results. It's looking pretty good though, especially with last week only missing 2 fights. So yeah, I mean, we can go on to the next card.
all right. Next card we got is a banger. It's got a female main event, and it's a fight night, so that's got to be great. There's 14 fights on this son of a bitch, so I'm gonna have a little fun tonight, and we'll go with Will pick a fight. There's 14. I'm
You
not
said
posting
just
this whole thing in 25. So,
pick a
what's your
fight.
fight you want to talk about?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just put 200 on Carl Williams, so I would love to talk
So,
about that
Carl
fight.
Williams.
You should
I
have
would
waited, man. You're
totally
gonna get
agree,
a
just
better
because of
number.
his, yeah, his opponent definitely makes me on your side just for that alone, for sure. Uh, I'm terrified for all these Australians. I'm sorry, Ozzy, but you guys are starting to get smoked.
Oh man, I got no problem betting against my countrymen, dude. Don't worry about
Oh
that.
man, but like the everybody over there is just starting to get like their ass kicked.
We got no
Before,
champions. We got nothing left. We got
yeah,
Usyk coming up. He's got a fucking 1 in 100 chance. Um, let's see, man. We'll see what happens.
didn't Taffa just leave his last? Didn't he have his last fight canceled because of like an injury and his brother jumped in?
It was undisclosed. I think it was a weight cut issue or something, man. He's a
Yeah, I
big
don't know what
prick
the
for a
problem was.
6 foot guy.
Yeah, I mean
but
his weight was 265 for that, but it said Taffa injury is why they canceled it. So you
yeah,
think
but
it was
how'd
a
he get
weight
injured
cut
the
issue?
day before the fight? How'd he get injured the day before the fight? What are you doing? You're not doing no hard sparring. You,
Yeah.
you're just
So you
not
fucking knew
after.
about that. Yeah, you knew about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
mean, I'm
it's
totally
it's
agreeing with you on that. I don't have no one I think has any real confidence in a Taffa win right now. The hard part, of course, who this guy just beat? He beat Chase Sherman. And what do you fucking do? You beat Chase Sherman, Carl. Good job. Everybody pats you on the back. When we look at this, he also has a lot of decision fights. His contender series against Jimmy uh, Lawson, who's only a 4-1 fighter, was to a decision. That's not a good thing to see. That's a little bit of a flag. Uh, Brzezinski, he went to decision, which is his UFC debut. If we look into the past, he fought in Icon FC3 against a guy who was only 2-0, went to decision. Uh, got a fight in PFL against a Miles Amos, who was only 5-2. He got a decision there. So, I mean, the guy definitely knows how to make sure he doesn't get knocked out. So, I would say for sure this, if we were going to take Taffa, I think you'd have a hard time because you'd think Taffas are just stand up banger fighters that want knockouts. And obviously, this guy knows how to make sure he doesn't get knocked out. He keeps his distance. In Fuego, you were first.
Yeah. The only thing that would make me a little nervous about Williams is he doesn't go for subs. I mean, he's kind of a lay and pray guy. You know what I mean? And he's pretty good at it. You know, he gets takedowns. He's a wrestler. He'll take people down. But
So his
I,
record
I,
looked like.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried because if I recall, in the third round of Carl Williams' last fight, he got pretty gassed. So if Taffa can outlast that first 2 rounds of him sitting on him, he may be ripe for a
Think
knockout in
Taffa's
round
got a
3.
fucking gas tank to make it to the third
No,
round?
no, no. I'm not saying either one of these dudes have gas tanks.
Yeah, but
I'm
like
just
that's what I'm
saying.
saying. Like if
I'm
we
just
have
saying.
that scenario.
I'm just saying. The longer the fight goes, Williams he doesn't go. He's not a sub guy,
Yeah.
so you never know what can happen round 3 when they're both gassed. You know what I mean?
All right, well, it's your topic. What you got?
Yeah, I just watched that third round. It wasn't the best look, but my thing is like, has Tafa faced someone that's gonna like wrestle someone like that? Like my thing is, Carl Williams is very explosive, ex D1 track athlete. Like he has a lot of explosiveness, and if he wins that first round and he's just gassing out Tafa on top of him, I don't think Tafa's gonna have that power. I'm watching the Felipe Tafa fight right now.
Mm-hmm.
That power from Tafa is just fading minute after minute. So I think if Carl Williams can just get on top of him round 1, he's gonna be tired, and Carl Williams he has good footwork. Like I don't know, we'll see.
He's in good shape too. I mean, Carl Williams is 34. He's got a 79-inch reach. Taffa is 30. He's got a 74-inch reach. So I mean, it definitely has Carl Williams definitely being able to handle himself in that ring a lot more, in my opinion.
Yeah. And he
Ozzy, go ahead.
struggled with he struggled with
Oh no.
Sherman a little bit, but Sherman has 15 UFC fights and he holds 74% takedown defense like throughout 15 UFC fights. So, I don't know. We'll see.
He's a white gorilla, dude.
Yeah, Tafa having 100% takedown defense and only defending over 2 takedowns from fucking Hunsucker and Hunsucker and who was the other one? Felipe? No,
Mm-hmm.
Vandera.
Ozzy, go ahead.
Yeah, quick, just a little thing going on what we were saying about Tuffa. Yeah, if he gets past that first round, he's probably not going to win this fight. He has
Yeah, I thought Venom Page had a pretty good debut too. So
in the fights he wins, he's got the best punch per knockdown rate in the UFC history. He averages 8 punches per knockdown or
I mean,
knockout,
but of
which is
course it was against Kevin Holland, so that was probably an easy one for him.
Yeah, it definitely does
Hey,
help for these guys because it is
Austin,
heavyweight. It's heavyweight.
when's the last time Carl Williams fought, and when's the last time Taffa
Yeah,
fought?
I
It's
Carl
want to
been
see
a
him at
Williams
while.
light
fought
heavyweight when he
in
does
20
return.
September 23.
Yeah, I
So
wonder why
not that bad. He did have
oh,
a
that's not
fight
bad.
with
May of
Lima.
2023.
No, September was the last Carl Williams. Or oh, no, I'm looking at. Sorry, yeah, it is my fault. I was
Yeah,
on.
May 13, 2023.
I was on
yeah. So he
Taffa's
fought in
thing.
March and then he fought again in May. So he fought again 8 weeks later and then hasn't fought since.
Well, and this fight was supposed to happen, so I mean, it is the same opponent. They're not going after different guys. The
No, it was his
withdraw.
brother he was meant to fight. He
Oh
was meant to
yeah, it was his
fight
brother.
Junior Tougher, but then they swapped a couple of weeks ago. They just swapped opponents. So he's getting a tougher matchup, in my opinion. He was going to just wrestle fuck Junior Tougher into oblivion. But this guy, he's a lot. He's not tall and lanky like his brother. He's short and stocky. He's going to be definitely the heavier guy. He's probably going to be 30, 40 pounds
Well, it
heavier than
makes
Carl
sense for what
Williams.
you were saying that it was a weight cut issue. Then
Yeah, he's missed weight at heavyweight. The
yeah,
only
that's
fighter
what
to
makes
ever miss weight heavyweight.
and
He's only
that's what
6 foot
makes
tall.
sense because they switched fights obviously because of like of a weight cut. It's not an injury problem.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But Williams,
Well.
if you're going to bet him, I would just wait because money's coming in on Tafa. I'm going to wait
Okay.
to try to get a better line. I'm going to bet Williams to win money line and to get a takedown and put them together in a
Yeah.
What's
full game
what's
parlay.
the Williams decision line, Aussie? What's the Williams by decision line?
I haven't got a line on it yet.
What do you
Oh
think
yeah,
it?
that's right.
What do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, I'm
What
seeing
is he now? He's minus 200 or something, is he? What's his money line?
Let's see. Right now,
Minus right
minus
around minus
two.
200,
Yeah,
210.
minus 214 on Bet Online and plus 184 for Taffa.
Well, you said
Yeah.
what would be the line? What would
You
be my
might get it.
guess?
You might get it
plus
Williams
even.
plus.
120.
Oh, we got
I
to
would
get to
say
100.
plus. I was going to say plus 140.
and they're only
Plus
giving
140 is a good line. I would bet round 3 all decision because Tougher might just. I know
I
Williams
mean,
gasses as well, but
over one
man,
and a half is at -165 right now, and I think that's only going to get
yeah.
worse. So I'd say you hit that now if you're thinking it's going to go to decision.
yeah,
I
that's
mean, it
probably a
seems
good
like
line to
a
play.
not a bad line for that, in my opinion. I mean, when you look at Carl Williams, I mean, we know it's the heavyweight division, so everybody's got no gas in the late rounds. I don't think anybody's knocking anybody out in that third round. They're fucking trying to stay alive at that point because they're
You
fucking
you
tired of
never know,
shit.
man. There's a heart attack on the cards
Yeah,
for this
without a
fight.
doubt. Especially
You
if a
got
guy has to cut to get to 265. Aussie, what do you want? Pick one.
oh man, like we were talking before, the Simon Talbot fight. I
Okay,
couldn't.
that's a good one.
Everyone is on Talbot. I don't get it. I haven't seen. I watched his last fight against what was his name? That
It's two young guys. I mean, this is two young
Wasn't it?
studs.
Was it?
His last
It
fight.
was the wrestler. Was it Aguirre or
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Aguirre?
yeah,
yes. Oh
Aguirre,
man, that
Nick
guy
Aguirre.
absolutely sucks. I mean, that dude was fucking terrible. He's pulling guard in round 2. His corner's telling him, "Oh man, come on, you're gonna hate yourself tomorrow. You got to do this." Like that guy had no business being in the cage at all, and he ends up getting submitted himself. The guy who's pulling guard in round 2 gets submitted
Yeah.
in round 3. I mean, that the guy who was fighting was absolute trash.
Well, and he was seven
I
and
haven't
one,
watched the
so a lot of
Cortez
people are going to
fight.
think he's good.
Yeah,
I mean, as
yeah,
much
he,
as
he
he's
got
0
him
and
out. Yeah,
2, that
he's
guy that you're talking about, his name
yeah.
was Nick Slick. Slick Nick. He came in with a 4-0 out of a small MMA company. I think it's in this guy Mexican. No, he's actually from Illinois, but he came from some
Yeah,
small company. I mean, for as much underground I watch, I've never even heard of the Elite Fight Night. He did get one fight in Anthony Pettis's FC2, which still means that you're trash. Some other Combat 61, and then he just did a grappling thing. He won that, but so Tyson or Peyton is definitely getting a lot of love. Didn't he get a lot of love in his Contender Series? I want to say
he did.
they kind of
Yeah, he
hyped him
did.
up for that one as well.
Yeah,
I know,
everyone was excited about him. Yeah,
and Cameron is for sure loved because of the same thing. He took C Rod took the goose egg away from him as well with a unanimous decision.
that was still a good fight though. He
Oh, it was a
still
hell of a fight. It was a hell of a
You know
yeah.
fight.
what though? You know what though? I was in the crowd for Simon's UFC debut. It was
Yeah.
at the T-Mobile, and there were questions in the third round whether he was ahead in that fight or not. I don't remember who he fought. It was another guy on short notice, but
Wang
it
Kim was
wasn't the
it?
best. Yeah, it wasn't the best look for Simon. So hopefully he's improved a little bit.
You're talking about
He's
his last
definitely
fight against
improved,
C
man.
Rod?
No, no, no. His debut,
Oh, his
Simon's
debut.
debut. It
UFC
was against the short notice
290,
guy.
Kozlo.
Terrence Mitchell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kozlo.
Oh, Kaza. Oh, we're talking about
I want to say it was
2022.
1919 into round 3.
Yeah, that fight was close.
Yeah, he got the
Yeah.
win by a knockout, standing knockout at 4 minutes and 13 seconds of the third round.
Yeah, he was a big favorite too in that fight.
Yeah, I remember sweating
Let's
that.
look. He was a minus 315. So, yeah, he was a big favorite.
But I
Hell of
just
a
watched
moderate.
the
Got
Simon
performance of the
Terrence
night on
Mitchell
that.
fight. I just watched the Terrence Mitchell fight as well, and I can see
For
him doing
three
the
minutes
exact
and 10
same thing.
seconds.
Yeah, I can see him doing the same thing in this
Yeah.
fight. To be honest, I wouldn't be blown away if I thought, oh, well, how'd he fucking?
I mean, we definitely have a solid record. I mean, the only person he lost to, and I mean, I've got to give more respect to C Rod. He proved me wrong this weekend. So, I mean, if for you to make it to a decision with a guy who can obviously take it to the judges with some high caliber wrestlers, obviously you can make it with anybody to a scorecard. So, does that mean we're not as scared that he's going to get finished? And this kid's young. I mean, they're both young. This is a young fight. I don't know if that gives anybody any red flags, but I just feel like Peyton doesn't have his paper rap sheet isn't good enough to
I
be
mean,
so loved.
all I'll say is that everybody was talking hella shit on Nick Aguirre, and didn't
Mm.
Nick steal that first round off of Talbot when Talbot
He
was like a
did.
minus 900?
But
We've seen Cameron Simon look good on the feet and go for some takedowns, find some fucking reversals when he needs to, when he gets taken down. Um, I mean, if he can get some takedowns here, I don't know how much value is on that over 2.5 minus
So
260 right
yeah,
now.
I got minus
yep.
210 sitting here for over 2.5. So
Man,
they're
I was
definitely
about
really thinking this is a scorecard. Go
I
ahead,
was
Will.
about to
Talbot's
say I
flashy
like that.
too.
I sorry, I like this
Sorry, you
over.
go, man.
I mean, this matchup is giving me straight Bulgarian C Rod vibes. I mean, I kind of like the
You think
over.
this
Two
is
young
going over?
fighters that I mean, they're two young competitive
Even at
fighters. Who's going to
210?
finish who?
I would say if I was going to go for the finish, I think I would go with more of Peyton to get a finish because that would mean that like all of their research is coming back correct and this kid's actually fucking really good.
I mean, bantamweights both seem durable. I don't know, man. This matchup's
I
weird.
mean, it's kind of a pickup
Aussie,
too. I would also say that it's
uh,
kind of scary.
Aussie, where do you see the line going?
Oh man, I think Talbot's everyone's on him, and it was a pick 'em, right? Simon's
Yeah, it
plus
is
Yeah,
minus
120
it
minus
opened
now.
up.
135 plus 115.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm gonna hit Simon for sure. I'm not. There's a lot
Yeah,
of guys
Yeah, I
on
think
here
it's
that.
gonna go. It's gonna go up probably 10 to 20 points.
Yeah, I'm just
and even
waiting, and I'm gonna
comparing
snatch it.
this to the fucking C Rod stuff, this looks a lot better than his fight did because like
This
this
fight
Peyton
just
guy doesn't have the background that Isaac had.
smells fishy. To be on Talbot. All these
Yeah.
guys, they really like it. And he's the big play of the week, and it just smells.
And the
Yeah,
movement right now is kind of bounced around. So it opened at a minus 105. So they definitely really made it a pick 'em.
And we got a South
Like I said,
African champ right now. I mean, does that mean anything?
everybody
Say that
loved
again.
Tuivasa, and that line opened at what 135 and
Yeah.
dropped to minus 110 throughout the week. And there was so much love on Tuivasa. The line doesn't move like that for no
Yeah.
reason.
Poor Tuivasa. You could see those fucking eyes. It's so sad when you see the eyes when they're getting submitted for the rear naked. You're like,
You
oh
know what's
man.
you know what's really sad is that guy's been in the UFC for how many years now, and he's never figured out how to defend a fucking takedown.
Well, because
Like,
they love knocking people out. Him and Derek Lewis, they're like, you want me to try grappling? Like, fuck you. I like knocking people out. Let's hit the bag. I mean, that's what
yeah.
they do. I will say I'm gonna go with the next fight. I get to pick this one. Let's talk about Billy Quarantino
Tell you what, there's some
against
value on Billy, I think.
Zavala. If we look at the two of them, Billy and the Zalala. I don't know how the fuck do you say
Zalal.
that. Zalal.
Yeah,
All right. So Zalal versus Billy Q. Billy Q is 18-5. He's coming off of a win by decision over Damon Jackson, he's a wrestler. He's a minus 165, minus 160 on Bet Online, plus 140 for Zalal. If we look at the over, that is over 2.5 is already at minus 260. So they want this going to the judges. I know Billy's been in a lot of good fights, but also some decisions. Usually his decisions are pretty badass. But he's also a hell of a fucking swinger, man. I mean, he's got the knockouts to do it. This guy's coming off of 3 finishes. He had a small organization where he knocked out a guy who's 6-2. He beat his next opponent, so he just came off. This is going to be his debut. His
No,
test fight
this
was
is
actually
no,
against a
no,
guy
no.
who was a debut in his fighter.
This is his second trip in the UFC.
Oh, is it? Oh, well,
Yeah, but you know
so he
what's
went back.
interesting?
Gotcha. Now I
You
see.
know what? If you want to take anything away from Zalal, look at his first loss in the UFC. He went the distance with Topuria.
Yeah.
Now that we know what we know, that's a pretty impressive loss. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
I'm not
said
saying losses.
well, all of his, Sean Woodson, Sing Ho Choi, all of them. He never got finished. So his first ride to the show is all decisions. Even Damon Blackshear, who a lot of people love him, he only that was a draw, majority draw. So this guy's getting his comeback after finishing two people in small organizations, well, three people, and then he did a kickboxing fight where he knocked a guy out in the second round, and he got a decision win in a boxing match with somebody at something else. So the motherfucker is active. I mean, if I was Billy Q, I really wouldn't want to fight this because he's kind of, I mean, he's too old for this fucking fight. Why are you taking this?
It's short notice, and it's in somewhere relatively close to hometown.
If you
Yeah,
looked at these two dudes on
Billy
paper,
needs some
and
money.
if you didn't look at the line, you just looked at the two names on
Yeah,
paper, you would assume Billy Q is like a minus 300 favorite. You know what I mean?
I think he was.
But
What
when
was
I
the
looked at the
opener?
not
line,
really.
I think I think it opened at minus 145 or something like that.
Let me see.
This
I'll
is
look it
going to
up.
be a tighter fight than a lot of people think.
Yeah, well,
And
it is tight. I mean, it's already a pick 'em. It's
yeah,
minus 160 plus 140. So it is a pick 'em.
I mean, I like backing guys that are going to fight for your money like Billy Q.
Yeah,
But this isn't going to be easy.
no.
This kid's a dog.
I mean, in the overs already trying to say that this is going to decision, or at least they don't think it's going to be one sided. Minus 260 for over 2.5 already. So the book said this goes to decision.
Yeah, I think he goes the distance at a pretty decent clip. Zalal, all of his 7 UFC fights have gone the distance.
Yeah,
Seven of
he don't get
seven
finished.
of Billy's 10 fights have gone the distance, or at least in the third
Obviously,
round. Sorry.
but if I was going
So
to go with finish, Zalal is who's getting the finish, right? Billy's winning by decision.
I think Billy round 2 or 3 is how I would assume the finish comes.
Yeah, if he does get one.
Yeah.
And don't we say every fight to wait after till the first round's over to bet on Billy Q because he usually
Yeah.
drops the first round, and we get a good live line on him.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
coming off some decent freaking runs here. I mean, Damon Jackson, probably should have finished him. Damon Jackson's kind of good. I can't give him too much fucking bashing. I mean, he got knocked the fuck out by Barboza, but that's Barboza. Can't really take
Yeah,
too
did he
much.
take that fight on real short notice? I remember there was something weird coming
It
into that
doesn't look
fight.
like it. I don't know when it was.
I thought that was short notice on a pay per view card or something.
Let me see.
It says it was on Holloway versus Allen.
Not really. So for in Tapology, if you go to Barboza's profile, he had an Ian uh, when he was supposed to fight Taporia, that got canceled because he had a knee injury. No, so his fight with Billy Q was a performance of the night, but it was a normally planned. It wasn't a short notice fight or a fill in.
Okay.
I'm not. So, and Billy is coming off. This is a short notice fight, though. He was supposed to fight Gabriel Miranda, and Miranda backed out. Yeah, Miranda withdrew. I wish they would tell you the fucking date that they withdrew, but they never do. So that means the fill-in
It was
is
only
with
like
this
2 weeks
guy.
ago.
Yeah, I mean this guy's definitely one to do something. I don't think a lot of people would. I think all the love would go to Billy.
Yeah, Zalal needs a finish, man. 4 losses in a row. Oh, I guess that was a draw. What happened? What happened? Anyone watch that Black Sheep fight? I can't
Hi,
remember.
Taft. I'm gonna watch it probably
I
after I
know
get
that
off
one
with you
was
guys.
very short notice, right? Black Sheep came in on like a couple days' notice.
The Black Shear. Let's look at it.
I think he just won like a week before that fight or something, and then
So no, it doesn't show
yeah, he
any.
did. So Black Sheep fought on August 12th, and
Oh
then he
yeah,
fought again August 19th. Yeah, I remember I made a massive bet
no,
on
I
him to
see him
win by
fighting
submission,
on
and he got a
CFC
twister.
or CFFC, and let's see, it says yeah. Well, it's May 14th, and then he fought in the UFC on August 13th. So not too crazy, but he's still to bounce in from there and still go to a decision with that. It's
No,
definitely
so Black Sheep
justifiable.
fought August 12th, and then he fought. Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah, you're right. Why is it not coming up on?
It's
No,
because
I
you're
got that
Aussie.
fucked up. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm
your
reading it off the front.
government probably did it.
Yeah.
They're fucking something up. All
I
right.
think you see a lot of scrambles, a lot of takedowns, a lot of weird shit in this fight.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's a usual Zoloft fight
Yeah,
from what I
well,
remember.
both of them just messy, you
Well,
know.
that's why I think wasn't that the over 2.5? I mean, it justifies that. I think
Yeah.
both of them. These are two, veterans coming in there that have done their homework, have put their time in. Uh, they're not going to get schooled on something stupid. So, all right, give me a last fight. In Fuego,
Shabazian,
the Shabazian fight.
Oh man, I was
Edmund.
kind of hoping you didn't go for that one because that
It's a
one's
good
gonna
one,
be.
though.
Yeah, that one's interesting as fuck. I was looking at that already, just running the stats down and whatnot. I don't know, man. Like, AJ Dobson is not on the level of any of the people that have given Edmund his losses, but I feel like he's looked good, especially in that Nchukwi fight, but not good enough to beat Edmund. I don't know. I'm back and forth with that one. Like, it should be easily Edmund, but I don't know. I don't have a hard take on that.
I mean, it's definitely hard to come up with reasons why you love this guy. I mean, Edmund is 1-4 in his last five. His only four losses. Uh, he lost a knockout to Derek Brunson. He got decision by Jack Hermanson. Uh, Imavov. That was a decision, though. No, he got knocked out.
It seems like Shabazian has just since he left Rousey's crew,
Hmm.
that was like the best thing he could do. You know what I mean? And get in a better situation. And he's shown out his last couple fights, you know?
He still gasses though, yeah.
I
Like,
mean,
cause
Anthony Hernandez is not the biggest justifiable loss in the third round. I mean, we know he's got a chin, but I mean, Anthony Hernandez is definitely a fucking blown out candle. So that's not a. It's. I mean, it's kind of showing that he can't hang up here. And then if you look at AJ, he's going to decisions. I mean, he's not finishing guys here in the show, but he's taken
Yeah,
on a
AJ
couple guys that are pretty decent. Herman, I know he just lost, but everybody
AJ's got
loves
pillow
him.
hands.
Uh,
He has no power.
well, I mean, he's
That
got some knockouts, but according to you, he ain't got no power though.
Yeah, no, I don't think AJ's got power, and I think this is like the more I look at it, it's kind of like a good setup fight for Edmund because it's like, dude, if you still have gas issues, AJ Dobson is probably going to steal the second round and steal the third round, and probably win a decision.
Man, this
If you
looks like a
don't, then you
dog
should
versus
definitely
dog
put him
fight.
out.
Like this is a dog versus dog fight. No one knows who this. Can you imagine being on a 1-4 with your nickname being the Golden Boy?
Who was AJ Dobson?
Like
Who
that
did
would
AJ
suck.
Dobson fight last?
Andrew beat him.
Chukwu,
He beat him too.
Tafan.
Okay, well
In
that's
Chuku,
if I recall, that was a
yeah,
pretty close
Chuku.
decision, right?
I
Well, it
thought
was a
that it was
uni.
pretty dominant. Like I
Uni.
thought,
I can pull it up for. Let me go to the stats site.
He won 29-28 on all scorecards.
yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was an easy decision for
So,
Dobson.
well, that still means he lost a round.
Do we think? Do we assume Edmonds a step up in competition for
hundred
Dobson in this
percent.
fight? Yeah, this is going to be a challenge for Dobson.
That's why, like, I think it's a good setting, a good like identifier for both fighters. Is if Edmund cannot beat Dobson, it's like get back to the regionals and do some work or something.
Yeah, the UFC definitely wants Edmond to win here.
Well, and Dobson's taken everybody down except for Jacob Malkoon.
Which you're not supposed to take Jacob
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not
Malkoun down.
taking
So, but
Malcolm down. Yeah.
obviously he's still a takedown, grappling fighter. That's his game plan.
Which is definitely trouble for fucking Edmund Shabazian's gas tank.
Yeah, Sabazian has been taken down. Well, obviously in every loss, definitely. Brunson took him down 4 times. Finished in the third round. Imavov finished him in the second round. Took him down 4 times, or no, took him down none actually. It was a
But
takedown
attempted
by Edmund.
but attempted 4 submissions on that one.
Yeah, 4 submission attempts is how he ended up finishing him. So, and then Anthony Hernandez took him down 6 times. So he's definitely going to the ground. Any bet that they put up about fucking takedowns, AJ
Jack
is taking him
Hermanson
down.
took him down 3 times.
Yeah, AJ's taking him down in the first round.
I don't know, man. I mean, those guys are pretty damn good grapplers compared to AJ Dobson.
But I
Yeah,
think that
100%.
but I think that like what I mean is like he's going to take him down even if he just hits his butt. They call it a takedown
Yeah,
and he stands
fair
back
enough.
up. It's going to happen.
What's the line right now?
The
Shabazian's
line.
minus 200.
Yeah, I'm not playing 200 on Shabazian.
Oh
I'll be
The
hell
only
no.
That's
interested to
too.
see what
person,
his sub prop is, though.
You don't think he can KO Dobson?
I do,
Aussie?
but the sub's going to be way better price than the KO.
Well, yeah, but how many subs does Shabazian have on his record?
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah,
Does
who
he
am I
even
going to
have
look
one in
at?
the UFC?
Probably one on his brother in the backyard.
Sabajian. I mean, he's only fucking 12-4.
He got a
he's
He's
got
rear naked
one.
choke against Jack Marshman.
Yeah, one, and that's Jack
he's got
Marshman of all people.
Yeah.
he's got a submission in his amateur career, which was one fight.
Dobson has never lost by submission and has 3 first round submissions.
Yeah, so maybe the KO's the way to go.
I can't believe you brought up Jack Marshman. Wasn't that the guy that Sean Strickland was yelling at
Yeah,
in
I
that
think
he.
AJ
event?
Yeah.
Dobson's a
Why
pretty
would
good
you go
freaking
down,
dog,
Jack?
though. AJ Dobson's not a bad dog right now, and I think he would get better as the time. I wouldn't jump on him now.
Yeah, I definitely think the line is going to go towards
People are
Edmund
even gonna
Shabazian.
they're gonna like Shabazian's last fucking name and bet money on.
Yeah, there's some other minus 200s I'd prefer on this card for sure. Just by, you know who I really do like is this Stephen Nguyen guy. I know he got flying knee KO'd in his contender
Steven.
series fight, but this Jano Aaron's guy is trash. And Stephen Nguyen, he's going to come out in 3 rounds and he's gonna throw 100 punches.
What's
More.
his line? What's Wynn's
Minus
line?
minus 200.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot better guys to play at minus 200 than Shabazian. That's a little scary.
Yeah, yeah.
Was this
But this
Steven
Nguyen
guy?
guy,
I
man,
guess we'll go one
he's an
more fight.
energizer bunny. He's doesn't stop throwing.
Is
And
it this
Aaron's
ninja
is
fucking guy?
yeah, man.
Okay, I'm looking at him. Steven Nagoy or something like that.
Nguyen, I think it's pronounced.
Nguyen,
Nguyen.
yeah, Nguyen.
Jeez, how the fuck do you get that out of there? All right. Well, so Steven's 9-1. He's got a nickname as the Ninja. So, motherfucker better be pretty good. He did lose to a flying knee in the third round of a
That was a
2019 Contender Series.
perfect knee too, man.
That's his
Flying knee, it
only
was insane.
loss. The motherfucker stuck to it. Went to LFA, got a one round finish, got back to Contender Series, win a decision, didn't get in, and then knocks a guy out in the second round in 2023 on Contender Series, and now he's finally getting his debut. The debut, this Jarno Lorenz, and he's
Aaron's.
Aaron's.
Yeah, he's
He's
shit.
He's
from
not good, man.
Holland. He's already 0-2 in the UFC with a majority loss to Gomez and to Song Yu Chu. I mean, the only positive you would say is the guy doesn't get finished. He's got a lot of decisions, even in his losses. I mean, it's definitely hard for a guy who comes from that Brave. Anybody that's in a Brave, you know they got some grappling if they can make it to a decision, or they just got fucking wrestle fucked.
I mean, this guy, Aaron's, he's landed 50 strikes in 30 minutes. You know, this has got
Really?
him to win. He's going to land 100 in 15. You know, it's not going to be close. And I don't think
Yeah.
it goes to the ground unless Nguyen wants it to. And yeah, this Aaron's guy, man, I don't know. He's dog shit. I think this minus 200. I think he's going to be minus 300, minus 400 maybe. I know there's a lot bigger names on the card, so people might overlook it, but
So jump on that one pretty quick then, huh?
yeah,
I definitely agree with you on that. That's what it looks like. There's a lot, and I think we see a lot with these fight nights. You got to remember, man, they're giving a lot of new debuters into this shit. You know,
yeah, and
the changes that we've had in the last couple of years with UFC putting on, well, ever since COVID, I would say that's the perk of all of these fight nights that we get to see. 4 week, 8 week fucking spurts where we get to see all these fights every time. Uh, it's all of these, and a lot of these guys are loved just because we've seen them on the show, but it doesn't mean they're really UFC caliber. What we would say is UFC caliber, because I know that argument's always kind of fucking pushed around. You know what I mean? So we get a lot of people that fall in love with these guys and they think that they're going to be the next hot shot or the next freaking prospect. And they're proving everybody wrong. And I think that's why we keep on seeing these guys, these dogs. We're seeing a lot of dogs recently. And I think that's the reason why. Will, go ahead.
Hey, Ozzy, what do you think about your boy Carlos Ulberg next week? I remember his last fight was a little sweaty. I don't know. I mean, he's facing Alonzo Minifield. You
oh,
think
Minifield.
what's your evaluation of Ulberg is my question.
I think Allberg's really good, man. He's got to avoid the ground. There's probably not going to be too much of an issue against um, Minifield. I know Minifield's gone for takedowns the last couple of fights, but I think Allberg will get back up. But kickboxing, he's Allberg's really good. So I'm hoping he can keep it standing and just stay safe
Yeah,
that
if he
first
keeps it
round and get the
standing, I
knockout.
think Goldberg should fucking decision him or fucking knock him out.
I mean, he
I
got
think
that
I'll
he
make a
picks him
submission
apart.
with 1 second left in round three last time, right? That was 100 to 1. That was paying.
I'll
You
make a
know?
bold statement about Ulberg.
Yeah, go
Um,
go.
I think he could be a top 5 fighter.
Yeah, he's got the tools, man.
I think
You want
Ulberg's legit, man.
yeah, we want to keep him away from these wrestlers, man. That's the only thing. You don't want to put
But
him in
he
a boring
is,
fight.
he is Australian, so you never know. He might get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, well, he didn't NGQ Kenny Nunchucks knock him out in the second round or something.
Well, it's because he was
Third,
gassed. He
He
was
was
so
third
gassed,
round,
but
I
tired.
he's
believe.
managing his gas tank a lot better now. You know, he got that
Yeah, it's
round
almost
three
it's
sub last time.
he's managing it well, almost to the point where he's kind of boring, and the fans are booing him. But I think he finally realized that, hey, I can't go all out.
Yeah, I
Well,
think he
yeah,
did
I
that in
think
his
that
very
was
next fight after
that was
Kenny
the issue with
Nunchucks.
the Zinchuku fight is that he landed really good in that first round, and
Yeah.
Chuku did what he always does and just hang out by the fence, and Olberg just blew his load on that one. I don't really take much into account with that one.
Hey, can we talk about another fight on this card?
Fuego. I wanted to ask you and Aussie real
Yeah.
quick to see where these line. Where do you think the line is gonna go on the Padilla, Pajuelo fight?
Hold on. Let me pull up. I don't have my laptop open. Let me pull it up.
So
I have some.
Where do you want to
right
look?
now,
I don't have my
Padilla
computer
is
in front of me.
Padilla is a minus 155, and Luis Pajuelo is a plus 135.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys right off the bat. I like the dog a little bit in this fight.
Dang, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I looked at this fight earlier today. I had about 5 dogs, to be honest with you, with you guys circled, and that was one of them. So, let me look at it. I had it written down right here.
So
I,
what
I
fight are we
think that
talking about?
fight, that fight with Padilla.
Padilla and Pajuelo.
Yeah.
Luis,
So the opener,
Paquello, and Fernando.
the
Yes.
opener came in at
Okay.
minus 138, and right now it's at minus 162. I think that line's going to go back. And so I think if you're going to grab the dog here, it might be the good time. I don't think that
These
line's
guys
going to
are
go up.
they're also pretty close in age, size up
Yeah.
fairly decent. Well, the reach advantage is way on Fernando's side. He's got 76 to 69 and a half. So that's a solid 6.5 inch reach advantage.
Yeah. This card again,
And he's a
guys, is like the
Mexican.
last card.
Holy shit.
It's fuck. This card is full of landmines, and you got to keep your
Yeah.
head on a swivel for everything. I mean, I see Amanda Hebos potentially winning. I see the dog there. I see Hollabaugh winning, maybe. Cody Gibson winning, maybe.
Oh,
I mean,
Hollabaw's
this,
definitely winning, in my opinion.
yeah, up and down the card, man. This is full of landmines.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why we're also seeing pretty close lines in a lot of stuff too.
I
I mean,
don't see one fight over
we've
minus
got some
200. Wait,
one,
two
two,
lines over minus
three.
200?
I
Why
see
is Cody
three
Gibson
undefeated
the
guys.
underdog? That's like
Cody
really shocking
Because of
to
Gibson,
me.
the grappling of
Miles
Johns. But
Johns.
Gibson's a dog. Gibson's a dog.
I mean, I just really don't think Miles Johns' grappling is going to be that like much of a factor. Like, I mean, Miles Johns is he black don't crack. Sure,
Probably
he
also
looks like
age.
young, but isn't he like super old as hell too?
Miles Johns is 29.
Oh, okay, so he is young.
Cody
Oh
Gibson
Hey,
man,
is
you know the
actually the
other
old
dog I
guy.
kind of
He's
like on this?
36.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but the other dog I like too is Juicy J. I mean, Juicy J can get the win here too.
Another dog is
Juicy.
Usman. Like I think Park can he's not good, but Usman sucks too. But he could have a big wrestling edge here, and like the
I,
striking way more athletic.
Oh yeah,
So
it's the first fight of the
I
card.
think I think that's the curtain jerker, right? I think that fight depends on if Usman can get him down because on the feet, Parkin's going to outclass him. But if he can get him down, it'll be a different story.
I don't think Usman's going to get him down either. If you look at his takedown, I mean, he might get him down
Usman's
early,
pretty
but
old too. You got to remember he's 34. He's probably does he have the same ambition?
I think it
no,
would be
he's
hard to say you're bullish on either side in this fight. Honestly, it's just like a fight I don't want to touch.
But
I'm
Usman's
high.
towards the
I'm
end of
high
his
on Parkin
career.
to be honest.
I'm pretty
So
high on
like,
Usman.
Aussie, you and I are usually pretty close. I'm high on Parkin too.
Yeah, I
well,
think
hell
you look
yeah.
at Parkin. In Parkin's second fight, he landed like 45 leg kicks or something. Usman's had 33, no, what is it, 38 minutes or something of fight time. He hasn't attempted one leg kick, man. This guy's just a box wrestler. That's it. And he can gas too. He's not great at takedowns. You look at his stats, man. I'm going to rewatch some of his fights today, but yeah, I really don't rate him. I think he's shit. I
I
don't
think
think
the other
Parkin's
thing
good,
I take
but I
back what I
think he's
said.
shit.
I think the other thing you guys are going to see all week is the streets of MMA Twitter are going to tell you that Rose Namajunas is going to shred up Hebos, and it's
I
the
hope
main
so.
event again. And I'm just saying, the line is dropped in favor of
I
Hebos.
wouldn't put a nickel on fucking Rose at this point in
Yeah,
her
I don't
career.
know where
She
Namajunas'
has
head
got
is at.
she's got
She
retirement
could.
written all over her.
Yeah,
if her head
I don't
was
know.
fine, I think he should win easily. Like this is a
I
perfect
I'm on
matchup.
Hebos as of today. I'm on Hebos. Aussie, tell me you're on Hebos.
No, I haven't touched this fight. I mean, Rose, how can you? What's going on in her life, man? This girl, she's made a
Well,
lot of
she's been
money, but
getting pounded since she was 13. Leave her
yeah, Pat
alone.
Barry keeps sending her out there. We need,
Did
instead
did
of pimping her, he's putting her in the cage.
did y'all not see that picture of her from like 2 weeks ago? It seems like she took moving up in weight like extremely serious and not in a muscular way. You know what I mean? Like
Also, she looks fat.
she does
Yeah, she
not
looks
look
she looks
like
Yeah, she
she's
chubby
in
looks
and
a little
just
shape.
fat.
yeah.
Like
Let's look
And
yeah,
her
she's
up
not
here.
training
it
with
is
Barry.
not
any
a
of
good
the.
look.
She's not with the same training camp she had when she was flying. She's I don't know.
She's not the
I think
same
she's got
fighter.
2 feet out the door. I think Pat Barry's just pushing her in that cage, man.
And then the narrative all week is going to be, oh, Nami Yunus, former champion. She's got this easy. There's no way he boss can win this fight. Well, then why is the line, minus 180? He boss who has a suspect chin. We all know that against a former champion. Why is the line so close?
Especially if you think Carl Williams is a lock like I do. I mean, Rose is definitely a
I
lock to
mean,
lose.
don't you think the over's got to be fucking crazy already?
I'm a little scared of the over in that fight
What
just
did they
because of
put it
that
at?
he
Did they
boss,
even pick
just
one?
because of that he boss chin. You know.
Yeah, but like, is it? What did they mark it at? 2.5, three and
Oh,
a
I
half.
don't know. I haven't seen it.
I'm going to
I'll look it up on Bet
Tapology.
Online.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Bet
We always get the props
89.
on. What is it?
They haven't released it yet,
Oh yeah,
so they haven't put
it's
it out.
probably what?
They
What do
got
you guys
They got
guess?
Rose at a minus 200, and they got Amanda at a plus 170.
So the line is going towards Rose a little now.
So I think that's
And
definitely
that's a
a.
5 rounder.
I would
That's a
say it's
five
a good
rounder, right?
opening. It's a good opening because yeah, it's got to be. It's a main event.
So you're gonna have the over and under set at what, 2.5?
I bet it's not 2.5. I
It's
bet it.
probably
I
three
bet
and a
it's
You
half,
four and a
bet you
half.
think
four.
it's 3.5 or 4.5? Four and a
I bet
half
it's four.
minus
I would make it 4.5 because
four and a half minus
know
140.
everybody would be terrified to go with the over if I made it 4.5 because they would already know that it's probably going to go there. But if I was going to try and push away people from betting, I would make it a 4.5 because it's a female fight.
There's one stat that I track, guys, that might scare you a little bit about he boss, but I track the higher ranked fighters that are favored coming into the fight. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And going back to the end of 23, those people that are higher ranked that are the favorites are 59 and 24, 71%. So it just goes, I don't know. It doesn't mean
So
much.
what?
Wait, you
70?
said that's a hell of a stat. Hey, good shit in Fuego.
Well, why I track it is because of basketball. You know what I mean? When the home team is not favored, or I'm
I know
sorry, they're
exactly what
not
you're talking
ranked.
about.
Yeah.
NCAA, yep.
Yeah. So I did the same thing with fighters. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so the higher ranked this week is Nami Eunice Williams, Talbot. Is that Ramos fight? Ramos still on?
Uh,
Is that
The
I
odds are
think it's
still out. They haven't pulled the odds.
yeah. Then he would be a higher ranked favorite and Parkin. So those five.
I know you guys talked about this earlier, but everyone is on Talbot. It's not even close. Everyone on Twitter. I haven't seen one person on Simon. Like this guy could be a fade. He's just
oh,
not
really?
forty.
Bro, I
There's
tried
no
fading
one on
him.
Simon?
I tried
I
fading
not on
Talbot
Twitter. Not
in
on
his
Twitter.
Dana White Contender Series fight because in his 4 fights before that, bro, he is so hittable and he can get taken down.
We
Yeah,
do
I haven't
have
seen that one Simon bet.
Kurt Halbaugh against Trey Ogden.
I really like Hollabaugh, boys. That guy's a dog.
Yeah, I like both of the tough guys in this week, and you know what, man?
Trey Ogden is pretty
Brian
much just a wrestler, ain't
Brian Battle was on his way to winning last week. That was a tough fighter.
he? Yeah.
Macy Chiasson won last week. That was a tough fighter. And now we're getting Kurt Hollowbaugh, Cody Gibson, and Muhammad Usman on this card. All three from the Ultimate Fighter. I might be looking at a
And
fucking.
this upcoming tough season is trash. I mean, it's not trash, but not a lot of people are going to watch it. If these fighters win, that could draw some attention to it.
I might definitely be looking at a fucking tough parlay coming up. At least Hollowball and fucking Gibson, because I do like both of them in these fights.
Hey, do any of you guys know who the hell this Russian girl is that's supposed to be the number one ranked Russian woman, which means absolutely zero to me, that's fighting Rendon?
It's on this
I
card.
mean, yeah, she's fighting Rendon, making her UFC debut, and
Uh,
she's minus
is
170.
Daria?
Yeah.
So Daria is a really long Russian name. Is 8-1. She's 28. She's 5'9". She's 3-0 in a small organization. She did fight in Aries, where she was 2-1. She got ground and pounded in the first round by Melissa Tanya Mullins. That was on Aries FC 9. Melissa was 4-0 at the fight. Her rebound fight after that was at Aries FC 14, where she won in the first round by punches at 1 minute and 27 seconds. Before, in her earlier career, she looks like she's a female banger. She just has knocked out most of her opponents. She's been in 2 decisions. So, I mean, she definitely looks odd when it comes to the female style. You don't usually see too many banger chicks that have finishes all over it. The Mexican lady that she's fighting is 35. Her nickname is the Monster. She is a decision queen. She has never finished anybody in her professional results. Her amateur, she finished an armbar and did a strike. She did lose a submission in a grappling competition in 21, but she looks like God. I mean, Darla looks like she's just going to beat the shit out of her. It's an old lady. Usman, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think the only thing you need to look into is how good Daria's grappling is, because that one submission loss was in combat jujitsu of all things, and it was against the killer Juju Miller, and I'm sure everybody has a bad taste in their mouth from watching her fight. On top of that, Dara seemed to have been giving a layup against Lisboa when she was supposed to make her debut, and now they're giving her this chick. So I would assume they want her to win. I just need to see that grappling upside.
I just, when I look at a fight like this, a girl making her debut from Russia as a minus 170 favorite. I mean, I'm not saying Rendon is a world beater, but you guys know how WMMA goes and how close it really is.
Mm-hmm.
We could be getting a steal on Monster Rat. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? That's something to worth looking into on that one. That could probably go to a greasy decision, split decision. So maybe
but I would
I'll be
definitely say
curious
the
to
money
see.
line's pretty good, though.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see too the decision line for that one too. I mean,
Well, and
you
that
see, yeah,
Daria's loss is to that Melissa Mullins or Melissa Tanya. She got her debut in the UFC and she beat Irina Alexeva, Alexieva, who's another Russian fighter that she
yeah, we've
beat.
seen her. Isn't that the Russian Ronda? I think we've
Yes,
seen her a
yes,
few times.
yes.
Yeah,
So we've seen her on 2 fights. She got a knee bar, but she missed weight, and then she lost to that Melissa chick. And that's
yeah.
the only loss that Daria Daria has. So I mean, to me, this is a fucking steal if it's in that minus 100 category because it's a young chick against like a soccer mom.
It feels like you could play almost every underdog, except for Aaron's, on this card, and you're going to come out on top.
I mean, because the only thing this says is decision. Because if she's going to win, if the monster is going to win, she's going to win by decision. She's just going to, it's going to be boring as fuck.
Even this Severino dude against Lima, he's a
Yeah.
good dog too. I mean, all these dogs are barking.
Sam Molina, yeah.
He's got a weird last name. It's like Severino bullshit something. It's weird. You know, some of these Brazilians.
Molina. Who's he
It's like
fighting?
Igor da Silva Severino.
Oh, okay. And Andre
20 only
Lima.
20
Andre Lima.
20 years old.
Yeah, this is some young cats, dude. Holy shit. He's
And he's
kept me,
from Shoot the
yeah,
Box.
20 years old,
Fights out of
69 and a
fights
half
out of
inch
Shoot a
reach.
Box.
He's only 5'7". Looking at his career, he's got a contender series, left hook, and ground and pound punches finish in the second round. Before that, he has finished every opponent. The first fight, it doesn't actually tell whether or not he finished them. But armbar, doctor stoppage, and a guillotine choke, punches, Darce choke. He's definitely probably got a lot of submission game. I'm thinking striking second. Andre Lima is 7-0 from Brazil. He is coming off a decision win. Also fought in LFA. Been around in the game for quite a while, man. He's got kickboxing fights in 2019. Has a 2020 amateur loss by decision in MMA. That was amateur. Since then, he's definitely had quite a lot of fights. I mean, his record is 7-0, but he definitely stays active in other combat sports like kickboxing. So I would say Igor wants to beat him. If he stands and bangs with him, it could go a lot longer. But this probably looks like two guys trying to make name for themselves. So I would go under and think it gets finished in the first round. Will.
I would just like to hear Infuego's thoughts on the Charlie Campbell Trevor Peak fight.
You're gonna bounce me to another fucking fight. Are you serious? I told you my
Please, I need
bedtime was
because
a half
I'm
hour
putting
ago, and you
well, I'm putting
fucking
a
moved me
grand
to a
on
different
Trevor
fight.
Peak, and this Charlie Campbell guy got knocked out by Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan doesn't knock out anyone, and he just beat a bum Alex Reyes. Like Trevor,
Bro, I don't know about putting that much money on Trevor Peak. He
Trevor
just
Peaks,
scares the shit out of me, man.
You
he's just
don't
a
I
know
don't
wild,
Will,
know.
bro.
crazy man.
I mean, he's a dog, right? He's going to come out and fight. He's
Yeah.
going to go balls to the wall. But when it comes to
He's
technique
gonna
and
Diego
footwork
Sanchez if
and
you want Diego Sanchez.
there's just none of it. So I mean, I don't know your bankroll though, man. You can do what you want. I don't feel good about putting a lot of money ever on Trevor Peak.
well,
Uh,
I've done it every single fight, and I'm bet
yeah,
positive. It's
yeah,
his last fight on his contract, so it could be the last time I ever get a chance to.
yeah, bro. I hope you win. I hope you win. I don't have any confidence whatsoever in Trevor Peak, but I love watching him fight. Shit. Is there a line out? What's the
No
line?
lines out right now.
What do you think it's gonna be?
Pick him.
Yeah, because
Uh,
it's Trevor Peak. That makes sense.
yeah, I could see Trevor Peak maybe being favored minus 130, maybe 120, maybe.
Because of the fan favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think everybody loves the guy and his
Yeah.
energy and how he fights, and but Campbell's a knockout guy too, you know.
Yeah,
What's the over under going to be minus 500 under 1.5?
yeah, no shit.
Jesus,
Definitely
that'll be a
what you
fun
would
fight though, man.
as a
When is
buck,
that
that's what you
scheduled
want to
for?
do.
It's on the April 6th card, Allen versus Curtis.
I
April
can tell
6th.
you one guy. Can we switch to one more fight? I can tell you guys what I really
Motherfucker.
like is. Yeah, then we got to go, right?
The final.
Okay, and
I
this isn't
still
even
gotta
in
take
the
the piss.
UFC, man. How is Corey Anderson going to lose to Carl Moore in the main event of Bellator in Belfast? Carl
Oh.
Moore sucks, man.
Nut
Carl
kicks.
Carl Moore sucks. I don't see that. And I know it's juicy. Anderson's minus 350. Corey Anderson's looked good in Bellator. You know, I, I don't.
I lost money on him when the motherfucker lost his last. Well, I don't think it was his last fight. I think it was 2 fights ago when he lost to the Russian. Fucking
Yeah. I remember that.
what's his name? I lost all kinds of money on that because I was like, Corey's
I
gonna destroy him because he destroyed him the first time, and it was just like a complete flip. I'm like, whoa.
I've just seen Carl Moore fight too many times, and I just think he's shit. You know, but anyway,
Anybody else got
I
anything for Corey
digress.
Anderson? I guess Corey Anderson did not hit the freaking link. If you guys want one more freaking breakdown, you better shoot it fast or the game's over. Last call.
Ibo Aslan versus Anton Turkalj. No, I'm just kidding. But I think Ibo's a lock.
Isn't that the pleasure man?
Yeah.
How can you bet against the pleasure man?
I mean, I do think that this card is fucking crazy. There's a few we haven't even fucking hit on, but I guess that's what Tuesday's all about, guys. Yeah, we're gonna call it. Remember, we do the show on Tuesday to talk about some random MMA drama and then go into a full breakdown where you can talk what you got. Uh, yes, it's for entertainment, but we definitely want to make sure that we're putting forward what we really are putting our money on. If we're trying to make money together, we're all broke. So let's see if we can stick it to the man. See you guys on Tuesday. Other than that, see you next week. Have a good night.